The following is a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club. 4 finalists have traveled south of the equator for a Brazilian battle royale at the 2025 GCT Finals in Sao Paulo. The 2 Americans face off first, but Fabiano Caruana's refusal to sacrifice a crucial pawn early allowed a golden opportunity to slip away, forcing him to settle for a draw. Time pressure was the key factor in the other game, but MVL was unable to capitalize on his opponent's last-second blunder, allowing a grateful Praggnanandhaa to escape with a draw. 1 round down, but the action is just heating up. Day 2 of classical chess, coming up next.
Welcome to day 2 of the 2025 Grand Chess Tour Finals here in beautiful Sao Paulo, Brazil, where we've got some amazing matchups. 2 American friends, good buddies, even St. Louis residents in Fabiano Caruana and Levon Aronian will try to bash each other's heads in this matchup. And then we have the Frenchman with 3 names, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, playing against the young Indian phenom, Praggnanandhaa. It's the final game of Classical with 6 big points up for grabs. And to call all the action, we're going to jump to the studio in St. Louis with Nazi, Yasser, and Cristian.
As the GCT Finals enter the second day of Classical chess, we're still tied despite some exciting first-round games. Will we see a breakout leader today? Our coverage from Sao Paulo starts right now. Hello everyone and welcome to the Grand Chess Tour Finals. I'm your host Nazi Paikidze and I'm here with my wonderful co-hosts Yasser Seirawan and Cristian Chirila.
Yasser, always a pleasure. Absolutely, to be with you both is outstanding. Hello everyone, welcome to our live coverage of the Grand Chess Tour. Yesterday featured one of the most amazing endings I've ever seen. Coaches love to tell their students, grab the material. Keep your opponent's pieces passive. Well, we had an ending yesterday that MVL could have won if he had forced his opponent to capture material and activate his king. It wasn't to be, it was no Zugzwang, it was a draw, but it kept us on the edge of our seats. I was just astonished.
I'm still thinking about
I'm still too. Nazi, tell us the standings after one very exciting round of chess.
As I've mentioned before, everybody's tied. It was a draw between Prag and MVL and draw between Caruana and Aronian, so the players all have 3 points.
It's a little bit complex, but tell us about the format for these finals.
Right, we have 4-player knockout event with semifinal, final, and the 3rd-place matches. Each match consists of 2 classical games, 2 rapid, and 4 blitz. Now, scoring system is very interesting. In classical game, if you win, you get 6 points. In rapid, 4. In blitz, 2. For draws, in classical it's 3, in rapid 2, and in blitz 1.
A weighted scoring system to the longer time controls as you see there on the right. Schedule is a lot easier.
Players are back today for classical game number 2. Tomorrow they'll play the rapid and blitz matches. If there's no clear winner, we will even see the playoffs. And after that, we move on to the finals and the 3rd-place match.
Lovely. And Cristian, you got a lot of numbers to share with us.
Well,
today.
absolutely. Our 4 finalists, guys, have been absolutely stellar throughout the Grand Chess Tour season. And let's take a look at where they stand in terms of classical, rapid, and blitz FIDE ratings. And we're going to start with the classical world rankings. And as you can see, we have a bunch of representatives in the top 5. On number 3, Fabiano Caruana, 2789, and Praggnanandhaa at 4th position. And they're always changing in the live ratings. One game can swing back and forth these 2 players. Perhaps Praggnanandhaa could, by the end of this tournament, go in, well, 3rd position, and Fabiano could fall if he loses some games. But we shall wait and see on that one. Praggnanandhaa, 2785. Let's take a look at what's happening in the rapid portion of the world rankings. And as we can see, Magnus Carlsen still leading the pack, 28.08. Fabiano Caruana, our representative, 27.67. In 7th position, Levon Aronian, 27.47. He's had an absolutely stellar rapid and blitz here in St. Louis. Maxime Vachier-Lagrave in 10th position, 27.31. And Praggnanandhaa, that's a bit surprising, all the way down to number 24, the only player under 2,700 at 26.91. Definitely will be looking to gain some points in the upcoming rapid portion.
He's young.
Absolutely.
Young.
He has a lot to learn from all these top players. Of course, he's a top player himself as well. Let's take a look at what's happening in the blitz portion of the world rankings. We have some representatives there as well. Magnus Carlsen leading the pack, 28.81. Levon in 7th position. Against he's had an absolutely incredible St. Louis Rapid and Blitz. MVL, 27.61. Fabiano dropped a lot, all the way to number 18, 27.26. He's had a very poor performance as the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz in the Blitz portion. And Praggnanandhaa in number 21, 27.07. A lot to play for these feeder rating spots as well in this competition. So definitely a lot of fun, exciting games to follow. Guys, how's the atmosphere in Sao Paulo? Welcome, Maurice. Welcome, Anastasiya.
Well, thanks, Cristian. They are a buzz here in Sao Paulo. The organizers have really done a magnificent job of bringing all these side events, Anastasiya. It's incredible to see how many people are showing up.
Yes, yesterday we had this children's event. Today we had the event for adults and children as well. It was a rapid festival. Here it's like a side event of the Grand Chess Tour. And you are right, Maurice, the local organizers, the chess club called Shahi Mate, which is checkmate in Brazilian, they're doing a really great job. You can see that more than 160 players took part in this event. Actually, the event will last for 2 days. Tomorrow will be the second part. And so far we have 7 leaders with 4 out of 4. Few grandmasters are playing, few international masters. Actually, it's quite a strong event. Some Argentinian players showed up. And I was wondering, Maurice, maybe our top grandmasters, if they would have known about this event, perhaps they could come also there and for some warm-up before their own games. What do you think about it?
I think not. They have enough going on for them to be super busy and focus on their own event. And in fact, trying to win this whole thing is extremely difficult. There hasn't been many players who've taken home a Grand Chess Tour title in the 9 years that it's occurred, this one being the 10th one. And talk about experience, we have varied levels of experience in this event. First of all, let's talk about one youthful Praggnanandhaa. It's his first time in the finals here, first time this close to the top. He certainly had a tough time yesterday, hanging on by his fingernails, and could have definitely lost that first game. Will youth be his weakness? Or will he be able to bounce back, be resilient, and forget about yesterday's game and start to thrive? Well, another person who's definitely not got a lot of inexperience for sure is one Levon Aronian. He is the oldest player here in the field, but Levon has only made it to 3rd in all the Grand Chess Tour events he's ever played. He's only finished 3rd at the very end. He's won some of these tournaments, of course, but in the standings at the end, his best result has been 3rd. He'll look to improve that, of course, here in this tournament. Speaking of someone, though, on the flip side of that, who has had magnificent results, we can go to one Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. Maxime has been absolutely consistent. He's had 5 second-place finishes, 5 out of 9. That's extraordinary. You'd have thought he made a breakthrough already. This may be the year as he is looking to change that just one level more and win the whole thing. And finally, fabulous Fabiano Caruana. He's played in all these events, all 9, but he has only won 1. Okay, it's hard enough to win 1. You got people like Magnus, Ding Loren, Alireza Firouzja, lots of them who have won. Fabi is going to look to join those who have won 2 events before. And so can he do the repeat? We'll see. Experience matters, as we know. And we'll see if these players can show their stuff as this tournament continues. Guys, back to you from Sao Paulo.
Thank you, Maurice. I would not have guessed that Levon had done better than third. I mean, I would have. He's won so many of these Grand Chess Tour events, but not the whole thing. Remarkable. Thank you, Maurice. Nazi,
Let's
please.
look at the pairings today.
Let's have a look.
So as we know, players are playing another classical game, but they're switching colors. It's Maxime Vachier-Lagrave today with the white pieces against Praggnanandhaa, and Levon Aronian with white against Fabiano Caruana.
Fabulous prize money. Tell us about the prize money.
Total prize fund for this event is $350,000. First place winner takes home $150,000, second place $100,000, third $60,000, and fourth place $40,000.
Where's my invite? Next year, as we go to Sao Paulo and the stage.
That's
Look
a
at this
beautiful stage.
Isn't it? I mean, really, yesterday, big shout out to the organizers and making such a visually appealing stage. I had to confess that I have played in basements.
I think the games have started, guys.
And they are off and rolling. I was going to say what the opening favorite choices might be. I don't even think we had an opening first move. Where's the honorable opening first move?
Not today.
Where's
I
Gary?
think they were in rush to make their first move today. So we have E4 in the MVL game and the C4 in Levon's game.
Oh, wow.
And we see a
I'm
pawn on
seeing
G6, which is an invitation.
by Fabi. Now, I always played E4 in this position.
Yes.
As a way of avoiding a Grunfeld and maybe inviting a
Going to
King's
the King's
Indian.
Indian, perhaps, right?
So D2, D4, that does allow D7, D5 as an answer. Again,
I have
that
to say,
would be
this is
the
a huge
Grunfeld.
surprise from Fabiano, because I haven't
huge.
seen him play this in games where he doesn't need to win, where he's not
Right.
forced to win. This one has 6 points on the line, so he's
Yeah.
taking huge risks with this move G6.
When was the last time he played G6 in a classical game?
Okay, what I want to say is he does play a King's Indian position from a move order where, let's say, G2, G3. So it's a kind of I've seen him.
U.S. championships, perhaps?
Yeah.
So
where
last
he-
year.
Yes, U.S. championships where he needs to win. I remember one against Lenderman, where he felt like he needed to win because Shankland was setting up the pace. That was 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
So only whenever he needs to win, he generally uncorks the King's Indian. But in this one, I mean, against such a strong opponent, it's a big surprise.
Levon is mesmerized. He's like, wait a minute. I played English to surprise you and to get you into a corner of the opening theory that I wanted to play, but you've given me an opportunity. Now, should we embrace
I have an answer.
No,
He's
No.
played G3.
peaceful play, G3.
I was about to say, in case we were to see, in case we were to see a real King's Indian, I know that Levon has played in the past these very cagey, I forget the name of this particular system. But the
I
idea is
played
to
this
play
my whole life. I still don't know the name. I just call it H3 King's Indian.
H3 King's Indian, where you get to go G4 very early. None of this happened because, like English players, English opening players, the whole idea behind the English is literally to control the D5 square, and you want to play Bishop G2, and guess what?
So for that reason, I
Control
want to
the D5
ask.
square.
Of course, I'm expecting Bishop G7, but could Fabi play D5 here?
Yeah, that's a main line, and I have a lot of experience on the white side of this particular line. They go knight takes e3, b takes e3, and what they would like you to do is play the move d4 and transpose into a Grunfeld. I have essayed h4 in my practice, as well as the move rook b1. And again, I'm trying to play in English with an open diagonal for my bishop. This hasn't happened because...
No, it's like we're not going to have the Greenfield type of positions because Fabi didn't play D5. He went with Bishop G7.
And right now, if you don't play the move C5, you could be backing your way into a King's Indian.
The G3 King's Indian.
Yeah, the G3 King's Indian. If you don't play... Because, for example, if you play a very natural move, we are now in a genuine King's Indian. I'm going to
This depends on whether or not Fabiano was preparing to play King's Indian.
Exactly.
Oh, he probably was, yes. I don't want to say definitely, but he probably was.
Really?
Yes.
Really? I was going to ask.
He used to be a Grunfeld player when he was young.
That was a big
He
part
really
of his
loved the
chess
Grunfeld,
career.
but
yeah.
he sort of dropped it out completely at one point in time.
Yeah.
And again, generally, whenever he tries to keep more chances alive, he opts for the King's Indian rather than the Grunfeld. The Grunfeld has too many forced lines. That's the problem, right?
To begin with.
Right.
To begin with. But then it's a very risky opening when you think
It's
about
also
the
a very risky
battlefield
opening, yes.
of what you've got to be prepared for. I was going to say that MVL, one of the greatest proponents of the Grunfeld, has started playing Queen's Gambit, declines, and Queen. Cristian, just staying with Fabi for a moment, because you have so much knowledge about his play. When you think about his opening favorites and what he most often plays, this isn't it. This isn't
No.
for the last 5 years at least. It's been Queen's
He likes
Gambits.
it. He likes the King's Indian.
Who doesn't?
He likes it. He likes to have fun, but he also understands that there is tremendous risks associated with it. So generally, he likes to go for Rogozin or like a Nimzo or something like that, right? Something a bit more peaceful, definitely.
Yeah, E6, D5,
Right.
Knight F6, which I think was what C4 and Levon intended.
But another thing
Let's
about
play
Fabi is it's pretty much impossible to prepare against him because he plays everything and he switches them around very, 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 very well. I have to say he's one of the best players at surprising his opponents. Magnus is one of them. Magnus,
As
I
well.
would say, he's an
Universal.
extremely good player that surprises his opponents every single game. And Fabiano, I would say, is clear second in that regard.
Right.
And of course, some of the new generation as well. I'm really impressed with the way Prague prepares, for example. And we've had Peter in the studio. Sometimes Peter is behind the scenes also helping Prague. We know that he helped him for the candidates. So definitely, these two players right now are going to have a very intriguing battle. But take a look at that. We see a pawn on C5 right now.
Yeah, I was expecting the move C5 to avoid the King's Indian proper, the G3, if you will. My goodness, again, when you think about Fabi's career, has he ever played a symmetrical English?
Yeah, I'm sure he has. Again,
I mean, yeah.
I don't know for sure, but he played pretty much everything.
E6, D5.
And this is definitely something that he has played before, yes.
Nasi, do you think that in this opening battle where the two players are trying to outfox one another, who's done the better foxing?
If you think about it, sometimes we could be seeing a Marazzi bind, right? A Marazzi type of bind. For example, Knight F3, you go D4 and you push E4 at the right moment for white. Fabi has played that with black from the Sicilian Marazzi. He played that against Abhimanyu, if I'm not mistaken, a few years back again when he needed a victory and he got it with the black piece. So definitely Fabi is somewhat comfortable in this type of structures.
Thank you, Cristian. These two players know each other so very well. Now see, head-to-head, classical, I mean.
Just classical, they have 39 draws.
Wow.
11 wins for Fabi and 7 wins for Levon. So +4 for Fabi, but look at those draws.
By the time we get to the rapid and blitz, the totals are going to get closer to 100 and then suddenly
Maybe
200. Yeah.
Yes.
But 7 wins to 11, I mean, the needle is definitely tilted in
We don't
Fabi's
know
favor.
when was Fabi winning more games, right? If it's recent games or maybe from 10 years ago.
Right.
So it depends.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, castles on the board. In this exact moment, if you wanted to avoid Catalan and Marazzi positions as black, that is to say Fabi, this is where you play D7, D5. And once again, you kind of get those positions that have echoes or themes of Grunfeld types of structures to them. Fabi did not play D5. He did castle. And now, once again, he is inviting...
Levon has castled as well.
Oh, I was about to say, he is inviting Levon to play his own D2,
They're
D4.
both playing a waiting game.
I am wondering who's going to outfox who in this whole
Well, Fabi right now has the opportunity of striking in the center with D5.
Once again, exactly. And I think he should.
That is a big move in this position. Of course, one of the main lines in this position. Again, depends on what type of game he wants to play. A bit cagey. You want to wait for your opponent, Levon, to strike first in the center and play those type of positions. Or are you going to go d5? Whenever you go d5, I have to say, if Levon is not looking for one of those super tactical situations, d5 is probably a good news for him, for Levon. Because then the bishop on g2, gets a lot of life in the position. And you also have the opportunity of taking on d5 and striking with d4 immediately, which sort of simplifies the position. And it seems like that is, at least based on these first few moves, in Levon's favor in terms of psychology of the game.
Cristian, I apologize. There's 2 games going on stage, not just one. Tell us about the MVL project.
Let's take a look at what's happening in this one. We have the Caruana.
Favorite.
A4, C5, C6, excuse me. Knight F3, D5, Knight C3. This is very typical. And
2 knights.
I do believe that MVL has played this before, so definitely no surprises. Up to this point, Knight to F6 is a very typical way of playing this position. If you do take on F6, it looks like you're allowing the damaging of the structure without much compensation for it. But in fact, you have a lot of compensation for it. You do take with the E-pawn, then you go bishop B7, castle. And it does seem like these pawns, and especially this knight, at the right moment, is going to get maneuvered on the other side. Knight D7, Knight F8, Knight to G6, and it's going to be very well placed on that side. This is considered to allow black to equalize.
Yes, or didn't you used to play G takes F?
Yes.
Yes, right. I remember
Yes.
seeing
G takes
your
F.
games.
G takes F. Oh, 100 tournament games more.
Probably. Nowadays, G takes F would be a bit suspicious.
David Bronstein, Bent Larson. I mean,
bit suspicious, yeah.
They blazed a path and ruined 3-4 generations of players.
It just shows you how chess has changed,
Yeah.
right? It has changed in the last few
But
decades.
E takes F6 is the
By
dominant
far,
choice.
By far, the main line. Nobody plays G takes F6 anymore.
Exactly.
Queen to E2. And also, people generally don't take on F6 anymore.
They
Queen to E2.
recognize.
It makes life too easy.
By
for
the way,
black.
you got to show the trap.
So I've checked Queen E2.
Queen
course.
E2 sets the
Of
trap.
course, of course. If you want to, let's say, well, let's start from here, right? Knight D7.
That's the most common.
Sometimes you go Queen to D2 and you're waiting and hoping that your opponent is going to make the most natural move in the position.
Knight F6.
Knight to F6. Whoops. Knight to D6, and that's the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful checkmates.
Smothered mate.
The smothered mate, yes. The queen is no longer defending that
It's
square.
happened a lot of times.
That has
Actually, let's see
ruined a
how-
lot of players' day. You know.
I don't see any games on this one.
No.
Plenty.
But I'm sure there's plenty. Actually, no, 3 games. 3 games in my database with Knight to D6.
You know, I'm going to sabotage this database. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to include the game.
sure.
Yasser versus Cristian.
No. Never happened. Don't spread fake news. Yes, sir.
Fake news.
Fake news. Take Knight to F6, Queen to E2. Take. This is, by the way, the main line by far in this position. And now, again, taking on D5 generally promotes a pretty equal endgame.
Sure.
You want to shy away from this trade. You can go Queen F4, Queen E3, Queen to H4 is the main line in the position, at least by games. Almost 300 games in this position. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
It's a bit surprising to me as well, because I didn't know this is so popular.
Me
But it is. Queen to F5, and this already narrows down the path, because by far the check is not that check. This check on E6 is the main line, 140 games. Queen to F5, only 30 games right now, and I do think that right now MVL is thinking. This is the first surprise, Queen to F5. Attacking the pawn on C2, obviously asking a very salient question. How are you going to defend that? You also don't have to defend that. You can go bishop to C4 in this position. Yes, just get the bishop out, saying that, you know what, if you do take, it does seem like after D3, I have a lot of compensation in this position.
Wow.
Yeah, the queen is a little bit offbeat. I think B5 might be falling to some knight D4 ideas, or just bishop to B3. Bishop to B3, you cannot take on D3 because of bishop takes F7.
That hurts.
You have some knight D5 ideas coming in the position if you do touch that bishop on F7. So bishop to C4 seems to be the most aggressive path in this position for white, the one that asks the most questions from black and his option. And I'm sure Prague is very well prepared against bishop to C4. because it also has been played quite a few times. 11 games with bishop c4.
If you don't
It is a
mind,
main line.
bishop c4, my inclination would be, let's trade bishops.
Of course.
e6?
Best move for sure. I will go castle right now.
It's funny, the queens have been going back and forth.
I know.
And
The
I'm
queen
gonna
is
go
there
queen to
defending
d5.
the bishop. Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, that's really weird.
By the way, queen d5 is a move.
I know.
Just
Like we
keep
did
hunting that
before.
queen, right? That queen trade.
Exactly.
Knight to d7, not queen c8, knight to d7 in this
played.
position. And again,
Oh,
white
wait,
is
you-
always going to have a slight advantage,
Okay.
right? You're going to place the pawn on d4. You have some space, some extra space in the center. But what black is saying is that the position is simplified enough, and I do have enough control to keep it stable and not allow you to, let's say, blast open the center with d4, d5, and creates a lot of dynamic play in the position. I'm going to keep it simple, and that should be enough to equalize long term.
Thank you, Christian. And how do these two match up? Nazi?
I'm guessing they haven't played many times because Prague is so young.
Right.
6 draws and only 1 win for MVL. That's +1 score, not bad. I bet they've played more rapid and blitz.
Oh, yeah, most definitely as well. I think you're...
And bishop c4 is on the board. Maxime has played the most common move.
And asking,
We expect bishop e6.
yeah, would you like to grab a pawn on c2?
No, he will not
I'm
take that
thinking
pawn.
bishop e6. The other thing, you know, I guess it really does kind of transpose, is like oftentimes I don't like moving a piece I've already developed a second time unless I'm forced to.
Yeah.
So, you know, just looking at this position, you know, my inclination would have been not to move the queen to f5, which was chosen and played, but, you know, to develop a piece. You know.
I've seen this. I think the idea of queen f5 is to play queen g4 and force the queen trade.
That's probably it. And in my career, I've also played the Scandinavian, and so I'm not against having a queen on a5 where my light square bishop is already out. None of this happened.
So you still have fun. You got to play all the fun openings.
I know. I was like, and until I cured myself, I don't know what happened. I probably had a bad result somewhere down the line. And bishop e6, as you were saying, the main line, if you will. Okay, I'm just looking at, yeah, of course. The desirable knight e5, and boy, isn't that a good-looking move. It just has one terrible drawback. Otherwise, it'd be great. Yeah.
So we either castle or play d3?
I like castles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
you're not worried about the c2 pawn, but of course here you're not.
No, exactly. And I do think that in that line that
you want to play d4 in one tempo, right?
Precisely. That I do think that if I'm going to have any edge in the position, it will be that I grab a little bit more space with d2, d4. But you know, when I think about advantages that white gets in various openings, this advantage that white has, I'm a Caro-Kann player, I feel completely at relaxed. Like, this is not, you know, a frightening...
Not at all.
A frightening moment for black players. Christian, sending it back over to you. Any developments in the Fabi?
Absolutely, some big developments.
Wow.
In this one, after castle, knight to c6 was played, not d5 immediately. But after d4, he did decide to play this move, d5, which is somewhat of an unusual move in this position.
I thought that wasn't allowed.
Supposedly, yes. Supposedly. It has been played 60+ times.
60.
But the other ones have been played way more. This is a very topical position of this opening. d4, d5. Now the engine is saying that perhaps you might be suffering a little bit. After d takes c5, you take on c4. Obviously, you probably have to take on c4. I don't think...
Is d4 not playable?
It is, but
d4,
knight b5, yes. e5, maybe this is what he wants. But I would be very, very surprised if that's what he wants.
I would be shocked. I mean,
you take knight to d2, knight e4, you play on the light squares. This knight is also jumping to d6 now with the extra pawn on c5. So you are having issues in this position. I don't think this is playable.
Right.
Unless Fabi knows something that we don't.
Exactly.
With some very strong engine. He has analyzed this much more than we have.
I thought you were supposed to take on c4, queen a4.
Queen a4, and now queen to a5, I think he wants. But this is not good enough. I mean, especially, again, the psychology of this game. Fabiano is throwing the gauntlet with his second move, g6. He wants a fight. This is not a fight. This is a play on one goal, right? This is the type of
trying to
endgames.
equalize like heck.
You're hoping to get this type of endgames as white. So Levon must be very
Queen's
happy
Gambit
right
accepted now, right?
Yeah, with this knight offside on a5.
I think Levon is very happy with the outcome of the opening.
Yeah.
I have to say, d4, d5 doesn't seem very practical from Fabiano. Fabiano is thinking, as we can, well, he's not thinking, he's staying at the board and trying to keep a poker face. But I don't think he's very happy with, oh, he took on d5.
No, that
Took
was the old.
No, he took on d5.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He took on d5. He did not take on c5. Well, this is good news for Fabi. Because d takes c5 was much more annoying as an option if you want to gain any sort of an advantage. Right now, I think we're entering, once again, mainline territory, 140 games. We're transposing. So after knight takes d5, it does seem like this is probably well known for both players.
I don't doubt it for a moment. Knight takes d5, queen takes d5. So I've lured the queen onto this diagonal. Capturing on c5, I'm assuming you have to capture with the queen?
If you take on c5, yes, I would. That's a very bad move, by the way.
And bishop e3?
Yeah, very bad. You're actually much worse right now.
After queen b4?
Queen b5, queen b4, basically you're going to
hitting on the pawn on b2.
Yeah. You have to probably go bishop e3 first if you want to get this type of position.
Right. That's what I'm trying to do.
Probably.
Yes.
Because you're trying to incentivize, hey, take my pawn on d4 so I can take back with the knight and
that's what I'm remembering.
hit your
And he
queen.
was just played bishop e3.
Bishop to e3, yes.
And I stopped. This is decades ago. I stopped right here and said, oh, I've got a big advantage as white.
Surprisingly, it's not that bad.
Really?
Not that bad, yes.
I would
Take queen c4. If you do go rook to c1, you lose, and that's why it's important to put the queen on c4,
pawn.
right?
Yeah.
Whenever you get attacked like this with rook to c1, you're just dropping the pawn on a2.
Right.
You're going to take on c6, but that's going to lead to some sort of a simplification, very quick simplification.
I'm not going to play rook c1. I could take on
You could
c6
take, yes.
and b3. And then you go queen a6.
b3, now I go queen a6.
And rook
Still lose
c1, you take on a2.
Quite an, yes. And once again, we get the simplification, right?
That's hilarious.
Yes.
I don't gain anything.
No, you're basically take on c6, rook to b8. You don't have access to the pawn on a7 because of the queen, and you don't have access to harass my queen with rook a1 because of the bishop on g7. So it's going to simplify this position. Yes.
Thank you, Cristian. And update our pie chart for us, statistically speaking.
Let's have a look. Pre-tournament.
Right, pre-tournament.
Fabi was favorite with 34.7%, MVL in second with 26.5%, Levon in third, and Prague in fourth.
Prague is trying to prove Ben Underwood, our statistician,
Now
is
I'm
wrong.
thinking, yesterday we were questioning why is Prague in fourth. Maybe it's his rapid rating. Remember we saw he's below 2,700?
But that's
That
youthful
could be
inexperience.
I'm with you. And now after day one, Fabi is still the favorite, but MVL is a little bit closer. So Caruana at 31.1, MVL 28.9. Prague went down?
Yeah, there your speculation is being proven
it's
accurate.
closer to rapid.
It's closer to rapid. That's probably what the stats are telling us, that Prague has such a low rapid rating, and I think underrated at that, by the way. But MVL is considered a clear second favorite to get this.
Could be his blitz rating because he is the highest blitz rated player here.
Exactly. Bishop e3. Again, I am sure that I never considered, well, never strong. I discounted this position. I just thought that this position was a position I would like to play.
I don't even think queen c4 is the only move. I think I've looked at queen a5 at some point was fine as well.
Queen a5 is perfectly fine.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All I was trying to do was
you're getting on you're getting the pawn on c6, but I'm getting it back very quickly. I'm getting it back extremely quickly in this one. The question is, can you take on c6?
Okay. I'm assuming with the knight and not with the bishop.
The bishop is probably slightly better, but more practical, I would say, with the knight. Rook to b8, right?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do something else?
No, I don't.
Now, the question is, can you go b3?
And invite
sacrifice the exchange and hope that you have some play on dark squares.
I assume we would like to include the move rook d8?
Probably a good idea, yeah.
No. Well, no, here you have this move. How's that for a move? That's like, oops. So you get the move rook d8 for free, but this doesn't feel like. No,
Not much, no.
I would not recommend this. Bishop e3. So once again, takes on d4, knight takes d4, either queen c4 or queen a5, and it's perfectly playable. Yeesh.
It's
Nothing
perfectly
else,
playable
though.
and
So don't go queen h5 or trying to do something on the other side of the board, or queen e5. Don't do that. Just
we
queen
are
c4 or
likely
queen
to see simplification, a lot of trades, and a very equal position.
Looking position at the end of it all. All right, and on the other board,
No
something
move
similar.
has been made. Maxime is still thinking after that last move, bishop e6. Either he's surprised or he's trying to remember how the line goes. I'm sure he knows castle here is the most common move, but he's maybe trying to think ahead. How can white gain some advantage in this position? But as we Yasser Seirawan players, we're happy here with black.
Exactly. One thought does come to my mind. If, for whatever reasons, you felt that you had some kind of a kingside attack, you might find yourself drawn to
Long castle?
Yes. I was about to say a situation where you go d3, bishop e3, and long castles. Now, if you want to argue that your king is safer on c1, I don't quite understand why you're making that argument. So, yeah, at the moment, I don't think that this is a position where creativity can blossom. You know, you're just going to play natural moves, castles, takes on c4, takes on c4, and play for d4.
Yeah, I think yesterday we had kind of complicated openings, and today it's a lot more simplified openings.
Yeah. Well, especially the French. Yesterday's
yes.
French, that h4 and a3. That was where...
What a combo.
Yeah, Gary Kasparov was saying, you know, the combination of these two moves.
And
I used to play
h5 from
h4,
black.
a4, right, and h5 for black. And what was very funny about the move h5, which our engine gave a big orange bubble to, both players kind of came in an interview with Maurice and said, yeah, well, that was a natural move. And I'm like, what natural planet were they born
have a
on?
different natural planet than the rest of us.
Exactly. Bishop e6 on the board. Clock times seems to suggest...
Yeah, Pragg is definitely in his prep. He's gained almost 2 minutes. Meanwhile, Maxime has spent about 20 minutes, and he has castled. Most logical move.
Was castles a surprise? Pardon me, Caro a surprise?
I mean, Pragg
Fabiano?
has played Caruana a couple of times in the Grand Store that I remember, so not a big surprise. Maybe knight f6 line, however.
Something was unexpected.
Yeah.
Because 20-minute think by
Well, this move, queen
MVL.
f5, is pretty rare.
Ah,
As Cristian mentioned earlier, yes, most games black played queen e6 check.
okay. And then queen g4?
I believe so.
Which is actually kind of a funny thing. I mean, we're chasing down that queen, aren't we? Trying to get a queen. By the way, it looks... Why didn't he play that? That looks like really a good idea. Now that we're here, okay. So he didn't choose that. Instead, we do have a swap. Bishop takes c4. Queen came back across. Queen takes c4.
What's the plan here for white? We gotta play d4.
Seriously, I mean, it's kind of d4 or bust. I really do. I mean, and you get
97,
you get a situation where, like, literally, you're
Bishop
playing.
d6.
Yeah, if you like, you're playing for. I think both sides, in some kind of ways, are playing for the control of the e5 square. Like, I can imagine white would like to put his bishop on g3. And say, you know, like, I will one day I will play
Playing
my
for
rook.
that tiny advantage.
Tiny advantage. On the other hand, if you look at this position from black's point of view and you say, well, what is black's most natural break? The most natural break is the move c5. And properly prepared, yeah, I can see that that's equalizing, but...
I don't think black needs to do that here. It's
True.
already so close to equal.
Exactly. So I think we're talking about, you know, playing for a little spatial advantage, not a development advantage, not a material advantage, but a spatial advantage for white. He's going to have a hard time converting that into something concrete. We'll keep an eye on that. We're going to go back to the game of Fabi for a moment, and
Still
has...
no move. After bishop e3, Fab is thinking.
I love
Guessing
this, by the way, exclamation point for bishop
bishop
e3.
e3, yes. He's probably thinking whether his queen's going to go to a5 or c4 after the trade.
Exactly.
Could he play anything else besides c takes d4? Maybe
Rook d8.
let's try rook d8.
Okay. I'm assuming the whole purpose of the move bishop e3...
I will take there. Yes.
Well,
Actually, maybe knight e5 first, because you're also defending the pawn on d4 with the bishop.
That's a good point, too. And another good reason why we would maybe want to move the queen.
I think this is why
Maybe
you
queen
want...
h5 then or something, but it seems like
Takes.
lesser of a...
A less good choice, huh?
Absolutely. If you want to equalize with black, why not take on d4?
You have to
I
take on
agree.
d4,
Bishop,
yes.
Bishop f6 or bishop g7. I'm having a hard time. I want bishop f6.
The pawn on c5 is very annoying for black.
It is. And it's not something that I would embrace myself. I would say, why am I putting myself through... excuse me. I did something wrong. I was supposed to go backwards, and I hit Control Save. Didn't want to save me. Bishop e3, again, we're looking at takes on d4, knight takes d4. How many games, Cristian, have reached this precise position after queen c4? And what has been, statistically, did white win any of these games, or they were
13
drawn?
games. 13 games. White is doing quite well, I have to say.
Well,
so if we look at...
I
I don't think black, at least according to my understanding of this graph, black has not won a lot of games. 29 games have been won by white. 68% of the games have been a draw. And only 3% of the games have been won by black. So that's a huge difference. That's good news for white, good news for Levon. You don't lose very often. It's playing on one goal, more or less.
Right.
After queen to c4,
Yes.
7% of games won for black, 43% won by white. So that's quite a huge, once again, margin.
Right.
This is definitely looking like, given the psychology again, and I'm repeating myself, given the psychology of the game and the opening choice from the players, this is very good news for Levon, because Fabi wanted a fight, a huge fight with a lot of imbalances in the position. That's not it.
No.
That's not it. That is the position that Levon envisioned. He wants to have a small advantage and press for a very long time for those 6 points. If we make a draw, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
We're both splitting the 6 points, but I'm the one getting chances of gaining that advantage, which is huge, by the way. You win one classical game, you're in such a good position going into those rapid and blitz games. So that's what we're seeing.
That was always our Olympic formula success. The players had white. Your job was very, very simple: to get an opening edge and press as long as you can.
For a long time.
For a long time.
Don't take risks.
Exactly.
Right.
And those of you who are playing with the black pieces,
Hold.
And that was our formula for success. A lot of times, never worked out that way.
Well, the thing is, and again, chess has changed a lot.
Right.
Nowadays, if you want to get this type of small plus positions, you're generally not getting them because your opponent knows exactly how to equalize, move by move, all the way until the end game, all the way until full equality. In order to get some slight edge or somewhat of a complicated position, then you have to take risks as well with white. He hasn't taken any risks in this one.
Levon has.
Yeah.
And we all know that Levon is a very artistic player. He loves creativity. In this position, that's not what he can do.
No.
However, like you described it, it's very pleasant, small edge, press for a very,
It's on the
very
board,
long
by the
time.
way.
Yeah.
Queen c4.
Yes,
Queen
taking
c4
on d4
included.
and queen c4 have been the last couple of moves. And perhaps Fabi is just trying to remember exactly what to do. Maybe he actually knows this. Maybe he knows that this one is somewhat very close to equality.
A quick question for you, Cristian. From this exact position, should Levon capture on c6, Now the issue is that b3, queen a6. I don't really see any plus coming out of that.
Maybe just queen d2.
Queen d2 with the idea of maybe quickly playing
Connecting the rooks, yes.
Connecting the rooks. But there was another move that struck me. Now, I do realize I'm hanging e2, queen c1. If I could get you to trade queens, I'm not saying that you should do this. On
You're
the
giving me
contrary.
the pawn on e2?
Yeah, that's the problem, is that Because if I get this, I actually think the bishop is misplaced on b2. The bishop
But this
doesn't
is still completely equal.
Is it?
Like
if
bishop,
I can get
bishop
the,
b7.
Bishop where?
b7.
Bishop b7.
C7?
So if I got my rook to the 7th.
I take on g2.
And this is completely drawn?
I would hope so.
I would hope not. I was hoping I was winning
Bishop
the pawn.
f6.
I take on a7.
With the bishop, right?
You do want to
Of
take.
course. I'm a pawn grubber, man.
No,
this is what I live for.
Most white can get here.
I mean,
Maybe this is the best you can get.
yeah, ever.
That is true.
Ever. But what you said, Cristian, at the very start was, I'm giving up the pawn on e2, and that was the problem.
And I don't even have to take it. After queen c1, I can go bishop e6.
Bishop e6.
Yes.
Oh dear.
I think this is
Also
Now
equalizing.
bishop c6 just...
more than good enough. Yes.
So just a sec. So takes,
Take.
take on a c6, rook c8. I'm assuming.
It's a question. Yeah.
I
Maybe
drop
even
back.
rook b8 could be. A
You
move. I'll
take on
b2.
b2. Now it looks like we're just erasing the whole board, right? But I want to make an argument, probably unfairly, that I have a little smidge of something.
You have nothing.
Nothing?
Just no way. Well, first of all, I think I can also go bishop a3. Is that not a move?
Bishop a3 is completely legit. Could I?
Rook b7.
That's what I.
But
You know, it's funny. I'm thinking I'm the one pressing, but
A6,
Christian's saying,
A5.
no, you're not pressing at all.
a6 perhaps. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm not pressing at all, huh?
It just doesn't feel like you have much.
Man, and I played for these tiny advantages as well. Okay, queen c4 is on the board. We will see how Levon deals with that. Our producer keeps saying, make predictions, but we give the stats every day. What's wrong with Tom? Doesn't he read the stats?
I think
He doesn't believe Ben?
we haven't done our own predictions, like choosing who we want to win, right?
Okay. Well, I'm not
Not
saying
want, but-
choosing
We don't-
who I want to win. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
predicting
I mean,
who you
Let's
think.
not
I'm
allow-
agnostic about it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, whoever
of
wins,
course.
wins.
Yeah.
But
Guys.
I'm just going to tell you the future.
Let's not
All
allow
right.
AI and the prediction markets to make us obsolete. You know, let's give our predictions as well, our
AI
human predictions.
is too great an influence. I don't care about you
I know,
podcaster,
right?
you lowly
ChatGPT.
podcaster.
Who's going to win the Grand Chess Tour Finals? Let's
Okay,
ask
ladies
ChatGPT.
first.
I'm going to go with MVL. He's been the most consistent player in Grand Chess Tour. He's finished second so many times. I believe this might be his year.
You took the words right out of my mouth. And when I heard Maurice saying 5 times he's been second, I mean, I think it's time. Normally I'd choose Fabi, who's won 3 U.S. championships in a row. I'm gonna choose him in the U.S. championships. That field is just amazing. But I wanted to go with MVL as well. And again, I know from Ben Underwood that Fabi is the favorite. I'm leaving it to you as a C-squared podcaster.
The thing
you
is,
have no choice.
Look, I've picked Fabi so many times. I just want to show how unbiased I am in my
I'm picking him
predictions.
again.
I would pick him again, but I'm going to leave Fabiano to Maurice. I know he probably wants him. Maybe Anastasiya.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the youth.
Youths?
I'm going to pick Prag in this one. I think he's coming in red hot. In general, he's been doing very, very well in 2025, one of the hottest players on the market. So I'm going to pick him to win this one. And I do think that with all these time formats just changing from one to the other, being young, having that energy, I think he's going to be crucial, and I think he's going to take it.
Fabi has, Maurice
chose
has
Fabi?
chosen
And
Fabi.
There you go.
Anastasia's going
There you
with
go.
Levon, so
And I think
One of us is
VAR
going to win,
VAR
or
is
two
going
of
to
us.
choose Levon.
What about
Var.
Anastasiya? Do we
Levon.
have-
Levon.
Oh, Levon. Okay.
So right now it's two.
Excellent. Perfect.
Two votes for Levon.
And I'm sure
2
Peter
votes
would choose
for
Prague,
MVL.
so
Yeah.
if he was here.
Yes.
Wow. Very, very mixed from our broadcast.
And
But that's
so-
what we like to see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is exactly
Right.
what we like to see.
And so
Well, now that I
far-
got skin in the game, come on, MVL. Get some advantage, will you? Play good. Play good moves.
So far, based on yesterday's round,
Yeah.
can we say someone's in better shape than the other players?
I was stunned by how
Difficult
Levon
saying.
handled the challenges. And that move at the end, by the way, that move Bishop E7, it turned out to be the right move. We were looking at B6 and other kinds of
Yeah,
things.
we're
And we
saying
didn't.
why go back to
Why
E7, yeah.
retreat? And it turned out to be the most accurate move. Levon, as we know, the veteran of the 4 players,
With Prague and
He
MVL,
played
it's a
very well.
complicated game. Both of them missed some good opportunities.
I do like the way MVL has approached his game yesterday and how he played his game. Okay, he missed some opportunities in the end game. They were very, very difficult. But again,
he was
from a
very sanguine about
practicality,
it, wasn't
I think he played very well, quite fast, put a lot
Yes.
of pressure on his opponent, on his,
his
clock.
clock management was
Took some
better.
risks with that. He could have been punished, going to C7.
For example.
On, I think it was move 39 or something like that,
Right.
very close to the time, to the second time control. But he put enough pressure that he forced, or at least he incentivized Prague to make mistakes. And that's exactly what he did. And even in the second time control, he was still putting a lot of pressure on the clock. So I think the practicality of it, given all 3 formats, MVL is definitely one of the favorites.
And again, he's
But I'm
been
still
so
going with
consistent.
Prague.
Of course. He's been so very consistent. For those of you who missed it yesterday, it was extraordinary. We were sitting here watching it, and our eyes were fixated on his clock as he took down literally 10, 9, 8, 7, you know, the whole atomic clock countdown. And with 1 second on his clock, Prague completed his move. And that was the, the moment we were all just holding our breaths. We were gasping for breath. There he is as we are in round 2. Let's go to his game. And again, today he's on the black side of a Caro-Kann against MVL. And I said this position doesn't allow for much creativity. The moment...
Take that back.
Take that back.
Consider this was an option at all. I only looked at the deep on push,
Right.
but I like B4. You don't? I can see that.
Gasp. I mean, I see a move like that, and you know, and you see, that was my weakness as a player, truly, truly, truly. A weakness of mine was that when I was black, I would think to myself, okay, just, you know, chill in the opening, equalize. And then the moment my opponent played a move like B4, I thought, okay, you blundered. You're now worse.
I see.
I have to punish you. It's like,
Wait,
so it's like, wow. I would zoom right past equality and went for immediate, you know, like I got to win.
See, I would be questioning that maybe it wasn't equal and I missed this move, and now you have something.
I was just total reverse. It's like, so in my feeling about the openings is that you were obliged. Both players are obliged to play towards the center and control the center.
Of course.
So a move like B2, B4, whether it be on move 1 or 4 or 6 moves
12.
later or 12 moves later, you know, like it's a sin.
Let's
you know.
take a look at his idea. So if black plays a normal move like knight d7,
Okay, right. What is his idea?
Maxime goes bishop b2.
Okay, fair. And because
At
your
first,
queen...
I thought maybe that delays black's development on the king side, but
Yes.
you could still play bishop e7.
And invite the
Yeah, welcome
captures
it.
because, hello, there are issues. You may not, that pawn may be taboo. That's right. But another question I would have,
Knight b6.
yeah, I would say, well, now that your queen is,
Step back to b3, I guess.
exactly, okay.
Thing is, I'm going to play a4 next move.
Okay, so for me, why am I so critical of the move? I think the pawn on b4 stands out like a sore thumb. Imagining a very bad move, if you will. You capture, capture. What are you going to do? You're going to play a3.
Waste the tempo, yes. Play
And then
a3.
I'm going to play a5. And suddenly, you're kind of like, why did, maybe your best move is b4, b3. Okay, not the only moves, but yes, go ahead. Explain to me beside bishop b2, The positives are you're kind of stopping black from castling long.
That's true, but I don't think black was planning to castle long.
Right. So
Maybe it's quickly a4. Like
exactly.
97 has been played, maybe immediately a4.
Right. Because if you could play b5 and maybe bishop a3.
Minority attack very quickly.
You're kind of justifying. I mean, you still got a little work to do in terms of justifying everything. Imagining. Right?
I don't like that on queen b3 you have queen d5. If only my pawn was on d3 and I could meet that with c4, I'd be very happy. But
okay, so you just gave yourself a clue. Maybe you start with d3. Let's say I play bishop e7. And now would you play once again?
Let's go a4.
a4. But it's a kind of a strange-looking minority attack. You have to ask yourself, like, okay, my king's not even on the king and the queen side, and you know, are you doing me a favor?
Also, technically, it's hard to call it a minority attack. It's 4 versus 3.
Exactly.
It's a majority attack. But the pawn is in c2. It's not moving. Very strange.
It's a different. It's not a usual attack. So okay, will MVL be rewarded for his creativity, or has he, you know, crossed the boundaries between a decent move and maybe a poor move?
But maybe that's the benefit of playing with the white pieces. You can play something like this and not end up being worse.
Yes, that is the advantage of the first move, is that a poor move doesn't necessarily get you a bad position, whereas when you're black, one single poor move can really spoil your opening completely. b4, knight d7 on the board. I think that white is going to have some trouble justifying the move b4, but maybe there's something in the position that I've missed.
I'm sure Pragg welcomes b4. He likes to keep playing and not make quick, simple draws. So
exactly.
Well, I think
we've debated the pros and cons of b4. How did the engine evaluate this move?
It's a perfectly fine move. It keeps the position basically as it was before.
Really? Okay, so before. Put the pawn back on b2 for a second. And imagine that white had played d4, a move like everybody under the sun would play. Go ahead. What's the current evaluation after d4?
0.1
for white
right now.
Okay. Yes. Put the position after b4, knight d7 on the
0.1 something.
It's exactly the same.
So it doesn't say that the move.
It doesn't change anything. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't change absolutely anything. The assessment remains the same, extremely close to balanced equality, full equality perhaps. But again, it keeps the game going. And you do make it a little bit more tense, because right now this bishop is going to go on the long diagonal. That's going to already ask a question from the bishop pawn f8.
Knight d7,
which was played, bishop to b2. You can actually go bishop e7.
Which is what. But we went knight b6, and we said, okay, defend the pawn on b4.
And the idea of b4 is the fact that you want to probably keep this queen on b3, right? And then connected to the pawn, but also using this pawn to gain more space on this side. That's exactly what you want to do.
We agree. And then we went queen b3, queen d5.
Queen d5, yeah. And this is, by the way, probably the best way to play this position. But now I have this very tricky move.
Which
and maybe he found it.
We
Bishop
didn't see
to
this
d4.
move.
Yes. The idea being that if you take and enter this endgame, you don't have time to take on b4 because you lose the piece.
Right?
Making use of this
not a natural move, bishop d4.
And maybe that's what he saw. Maybe that's what MVL has calculated to be able to make this work.
Right.
And after bishop d4, you can indeed take, and now knight d5. What
Not
do you do?
exactly
Do you go
what I
c3 or do you
wanted.
take on a7? You can take on a7.
Okay.
Bishop takes b4 and play this position. It's not much.
No.
It's not much. It's
very
probably going
balanced.
to be very close to equality. But you do have to play this move, knight to c7. You don't have any other moves.
Really?
If I go to
No other
knight
moves.
f6 or something, why is
I
it
think
bad?
all of those, bishop c5.
Bishop c5 and
nice.
rook
So
a8.
knight e7, knight f6,
Fail.
knight f4.
All fail.
Oh, it's quite funny, quite a funny little tactic. But you go bishop c5, and now you have to take on c5, but you don't have time to parry this idea. With rook to a8, and you lose the exchange, you will lose the game in this one. So
That's why you said knight c7 would be forced.
Knight c7 to defend that rook on a8 was the only way to play this one. Again, a little bit to calculate, still quite a simple position, let's say. But b4 keeps the game going a little bit.
All right. I'm surprised. I would see the move b4, my spirits would soar, and I'm saying I'm playing an idiot. This is great.
It's very like frustrating when engine doesn't support everything we know about chess, right?
Yeah. Well,
how is d4 and b4 equal?
I think Gary said it best when he came on the show yesterday. He was speaking with Maurice, and he said, you know, Maurice, a confession. In the 80s and 90s, Gary was noted as one of the most, maybe the greatest theoretician of his age. I mean, there was Bobby Fischer, who rewrote the openings books. There was Anatoly Karpov, who was a dominant world champion. Along came Garry Kasparov, who was even more dominant than Karpov was. And he won so many games out of the opening. And he had so many ideas and so many variations, and his notebooks were just copious. Now he's checking them, and he's discovering he missed everything. You know, like, it's a really humbling experience. You know, it's crazy. But speaking of Maurice, let's throw it to Sao Paulo.
Hey guys, you just jumping into this position. I'm so excited. I wish I were there in St. Louis to be able to analyze and argue and, you know, as we do, chop it up about this position, because the move b4 just kind of sticks out like a pinky. You know, well, why'd you play that move? And Yaz, of course, as old school, you see a move like that one, you just think, it's not foundational. It's not fundamental. You should be playing moves like d4, rook e1, more straightforward type of developing moves. But I got to tell you, I kind of like this move b4. I think that they're trying to create an imbalance in the position is MVL. And this imbalance is going to happen potentially if he plays the move a4 with an idea after knight d7, move a4, looking to maybe even play a5. And I know that seems a little bit cheeky in the position, but it's a kind of move that could disrupt whatever space and pawn structure you want to set up on the queen side for black. a6 might happen at some point, for example, and the pawn on a5 does prevent the knight from going to the b6 square. So I do think that this is a bit risky on MVL's part, but it's not so big a risk as you guys mentioned in terms of pieces as white. When you have white, you don't necessarily worry so much about making a slightly awkward looking move, maybe creative, maybe even not so good, in fact. But you do have some leeway, and I do believe that trying to create space is what is on MVL's mind. We'll see if that happens. A move has not been played as yet, so we'll leave it up to the players as they think over this really interesting position. I think the move b4, again, like I said, I wish I were hanging out with you guys analyzing this position more deeply.
Well, thank you, Maurice, showing you can teach an old dog new tricks, because like I thought, the b4 move stands out like your pinky being left behind there. But Maurice says he likes the move. Again, I'm still thinking that, you know, this can't be right. That, you know, what white is made an inaccuracy, an error.
It looks like white is deliberately playing not the objectively best move.
Right. That, I think that's a fair way of saying. Not a terrible move, but objectively not the best. So once again, a4 I kind of understand, and maybe you want to play for a5 and b5. But imagine I was being consistent, and I wanted to say, okay, last time I think we tried knight b6. Trade queens?
I guess here I would.
Takes. I always like to capture towards the center. As a Caro-Kann player, I preferred the c6 takes d5 as opposed to the e takes d5.
Yeah, I don't like that my pawn is on c2.
Indeed. And maybe you'll play b5.
We do have a move.
Yes, and it was
Bishop b2.
Bishop b2, actually.
Now immediate a4.
Right.
And here we looked at bishop e7, since g7 is nothing to worry about.
Right, and we were also looking at knight b6, queen b3, queen d5, and the move that we definitely missed because we were getting very concerned about our outstanding b4.
Bishop d4 is a very strong move. Of course, it's still equal, but this gives white some chances.
That's a confounding move.
Yes. Very easy to miss.
Truly.
Yeah.
Huh.
But if Black doesn't go for any of this and just plays bishop e7, then let's take a look.
Okay.
What is MVL planning to do in that case?
Because, of course, the whole idea was to make it difficult, if not impossible, to play the move bishop e7. And if we do it, it's not because the pawn on g7 can be grabbed. Here you'll end up feeling a little bit, oops.
It's been played already. Bishop e7 is on the board.
Yeah,
Pragg
like,
didn't spend any time on knight b6. Or maybe he was thinking during Maxime's time.
And by the way, again, bishop e7, if you're just trying to play for, strict equality, if you can play bishop f6.
I think that's coming as well.
Recapture, capture with the knight, castles. Why are your pawns on c2 and d2 and not on, for example, c3 and d4?
d4, c4, or c3, d4, yeah.
Right. Something
more active, for sure.
Exactly. So bishop e7 throws the gauntlet right back at MVL and says, okay, show me what you got.
Outside of a4, I don't see any other ideas.
Okay, let's go once again with a4, because Maurice mentioned that maybe on a good day you'll play a5. And again, if it was your turn again, maybe you would find the move a6 attractive or not. I'm not exactly sure. Again, whether it's bishop f6 first or queen d5, let's say that's a matter. You know what?
Even queen b5 looks good here because of the c2 pawn.
Queen b5. Wow.
Yeah, even queen b5.
Even queen b5. Okay.
I know, I'm doubling my pawns, but
Sacrilege.
your b4 pawn is weak.
True that.
c2 pawn is a backward pawn, or will be. Like, how can white really punish black here?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I don't think this punishment is not being doled out here in this precise position. So,
it's a big difference on the clock. 55 minutes for Maxime and still hour and 22 for Pragg.
Because I'm being a very, very poor champion of MVL's position, after having chosen him to win the entire finals competition, maybe the computer engine will support Maxime better than I can. What is he supposed to do? What is white supposed to do?
Well, I just want to say that bishop e7 was quite a good move. A very, very good move.
Not a bad move.
Not to go for this knight b6, queen d5, which was perfectly fine as well. But if you want to keep, and Pragg has been showing that he really wants to fight in
And
this
keep
tournament.
the
Look,
fight alive.
Again,
yeah.
he's super young. He's coming with a lot of hunger in this type of events. He wants to win them outright. He wants to put his stamp on the Grand Chess Tour, and he has been doing so in this edition. He made it to the Final Four after.
Hello.
Right?
Yeah.
Bishop to e7. It does say like the position remains exactly within the range that we've discussed, 0.10, 0.12 right now, with queen to c3. A very strange move, to be honest.
Queen to c3?
Yes, I would not even consider this. Allowing bishop to f6 doesn't make too much sense. Provoking bishop to f6 doesn't make too much sense for me, right? So what else? Maybe a4. Let's just go grab some space on that side, right?
Right.
Castle.
For example. Yeah.
And a5. Why not?
Well, Nazi said queen b5, and let's trade queens. And
that's right. That's right. And probably that's a very good move. And now we get some
bishop f6
complicated situation, let's say. If you don't go bishop f6, then I can take, and at least queen to h4. The game is not simplifying as quickly, right?
But why did you put your rook to d8? Rook a8, d8.
Rook a8 to d8.
Why did you put your pawn on b4?
It wasn't me. I didn't.
I'm innocent.
Don't ask me those questions, Yasser.
Why did you?
To be honest, I would have preferred to have this pawn on b3 and the pawn on a5. That would be great, right? Because you still can maintain this.
That's hilarious.
This space advantage. Rook to e1. Maybe I have ideas of rook to e5. Perhaps this is what he's looking at, right?
Okay.
Like, give me one more move. Okay, rook to e8. Now I go d3. Give me one more move.
And now rook
and then
e5.
maybe I can go e5, rook e5, right?
Gotcha.
And now you have to go queen a6. If you put something on d5, I have
c4.
And now
okay,
I
now
see g4 come in and ideas.
Now I
you
got
see this
some
type of ideas.
Yeah.
Right, I get
this type
that.
of ideas, yes. Again, it's not much.
Not much.
I think both players understand this. And if we rewind the game a little bit, the way it started, it's quite obvious that Pragg has surprised MVL from the get-go, right?
Okay.
With this idea of queen to f5, perhaps a little offbeat. And right now, MVL is trying to freestyle and try to get something out of this opening. Not much. And it does seem like Pragg is handling this one quite well.
Right. Thank you for that. As we're going to just take, before we go on break, we're going to just take one more gander at the game between Fabi and, whoops, that's, I clicked on the draw. And we do indeed have a couple of more moves. Knight takes c6, b takes e6, b2, b3. Black is happy getting his queen kicked all over the board. Rook c1.
It's the exact line we first looked at with Cristian.
Exactly.
There was queen a2, rook c6, and just simply rook b8.
Rook to b8, I think, is where what we had been looking at as well. Okay.
There's also
obviously
bishop g4 coming as well with the tempo.
I was about to try to trick you, but I don't think you're going to fall for it very well. Defending the pawn, inviting rook d8. Some dare call me genius. No. I'm imagining you would play bishop g4 and or bishop h3.
Include bishop h3 also, maybe. Yeah.
I thought I was being clever, but I don't see why I'm happy about my bishop being on d5 at all.
Yeah, you
so
might get
rook takes rook b8.
Uncomfortably pinned.
I could be doing it completely wrong. If I go, no, I think it's just
rook c7, bishop g4.
Rook c7, bishop g4.
I think if you play f3, I'll take.
Wait.
Okay, I can take. Which one do I take? E2 or b3?
You know, even if
does it matter?
I don't think it does.
B3?
I was thinking I was setting you up for a cheapo, but I don't see any cheapos.
Because e3 is hanging, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to get the tempo against your. Yeah. No, I think it's just everything's getting traded off the board, simplified. Yeah.
Maybe Levon here in the current position after queen a2. Try something like b4. Is that anything? And take on c6 maybe with the bishop next move.
Well, you are also potentially dreaming of playing b5. If you could play... Ooh.
Pawn on c6? Yeah.
No, I think we do have a move.
Yeah, Fabi played queen a2. That was the last move.
That was the last move. So b4, did you say? That looks
at
least interesting.
Yes.
I think this is still getting balanced. We've reached that stage of our show where we take our first break, and before we do that, of course, we always like to check in with our friends at Q Boutique and figure out what's their special. Well, guess what? You can own a piece of chess history with this 2025 Semifinal Cup hat, baseball cap, I think. Show your support for the game and the world's top grandmasters. It is available at Q Boutique, STL.com for all your chess shopping needs. Come in person or online and shop with us.
There's the hat.
There it is. I was waiting for the hat. I was looking at, was it the baseball? Yes, it is. And actually, it is a very nice hat. We have gone to a baseball game here at the St. Louis Cardinals game because Fabiano is going to throw out a first pitch one of these days.
Yeah, he's preparing. Right?
He's preparing. Yeah. He's in training. And we all got our baseball caps on. What have we got for our
As
viewers?
we go to break, Maurice sat down with Pragg, and take a listen, and we'll be right back.
Well, welcome to Sao Paulo. How do you feel about being in Brazil for the championship, the title, Grand Chess Tour champion?
Yeah, thank you. It's a new country in the countries I've visited, so that's an exciting thing. And yeah, overall Grand Chess Tour Finals is an amazing tournament to be playing in. And at the start of the tour, this is what we all wanted. We all wanted to be here and fight for the top spot. So I'm happy I managed to do it, and now it's all about this event, and to focus on this and give my best is all I want to do.
You've been
on the outside looking in as a youngster among all these veterans, what does it mean to you, having seen this historically, to now be participating in it yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I've been following every Grand Chess Tour ever since it started, and especially the finals, when the finals was happening. I remember in 2019 I was playing this London Classic Open event, while the main event at the Grand Chess Tour Finals. I remember Magnus was playing Maxime and they had some crazy match. So, and when you follow all these events, it's just a great feeling to be there and playing it. So yeah, I'm excited and looking forward to the event.
What about being the youngest player? I mean, people talk about that all the time. You're not a little 15-year-old watching on the outside. You're a little bit older now, but still, you're the youngest by far in this event. How does that feel?
No, I think for chess, I'm already too old. There are, so many young kids coming up. I don't think we are kids anymore. But yeah, as I said, like, I've grown up watching all these players, and to be here playing them is a great feeling, and this is what you want when you start playing the sport. So, and yeah, I enjoy doing it. So, I mean, overall, happy with the way it's going.
Speak about the players here. Your respect, first of all, for the opponent that you're up against now, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave.
Yeah, he's a very strong player, and he's also a player that does well in all three formats. So it'll be an exciting match, and someone that actually made the qualification quite easily compared to others, because of his amazing performance in all the tournaments basically. And yeah, he's been in a great form lately, and even in Grand Swiss, the first half didn't go well for him, but second half he came back and finished on a good note. So yeah, he's a very strong opponent, and I mean, it'll be a fighting match, and yeah, I'll try to give my best and see how it goes. You
got to keep half an eye on the other match as well. Let's talk about those players. First of all, Levon Aronian. What do you see his chances are of possibly making the very finals and challenging you, hopefully?
Yeah, the match is also going to be exciting. It's not going to be easy at all. I mean, both are just extremely strong players. Both have been at the top for so many years, and Levon has been playing well lately. Yes, he won the freestyle event, and then he won the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz. He also, made through the qualification in Incr quite comfortably. So yeah, overall I think it'll be a fun match, and Fabi because as always I think he's always in good form. So yeah, it's going to be a exciting match to follow, and I think with this Rapid and Blitz, it'll also be providing a lot of excitement for the fans, and yeah, I think we'll all have fun here.
Let's speak about the format. You got these three formats. You've been stronger in the classical this year. Will you be trying to dominate in that area, given the Rapid and Blitz? Maybe some may have more experience than you, or will you just take each game as it comes?
I don't think you can really strategize all these things. You just have to take one game at a time. We are all top players, and I think these Rapid and Blitz games, they are just one game and can go any way. So I don't think I'll go crazy on classical, but I'll try to play as I was doing the whole year and just try to give my best and see how things work out.
There are a lot of titles that are really prestigious titles in the world. Where do you stack the whole journey of the Grand Chess Tour all the way to getting here and then actually winning the title itself?
Yeah, I think it will rank on the top, and I think probably ahead of this is the World Championship title and the candidates, but the Grand Chess Tour is right at top, and I think every top player wants to win this event, and it's a difficult format as well to actually be here and try to win. So I'll give my best. I will not take any pressure. I'll just try to have fun in the event, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
The Grand Chess Tour Finals are back, and this time the stage is set in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The top four players face off in rapid, blitz, and classical showdowns, each move pushing them closer to a share of $350,000 and the ultimate crown. It all comes down to this. The battles are fierce, the stakes are high, and only one will stand as the Grand Chess Tour champion.
Two legendary world champions, Garry Kasparov and Viswanathan Anand, will do battle once again in Clutch Chess, The Legends, a special exhibition match celebrating their incredible legacies. Kasparov, a chess icon who held the title for 15 consecutive years, and Anand, a 5-time world champion, will compete in an epic Chess 960 match with $144,000 in prizes on the line. Catch this unique moment in chess history live from the new state-of-the-art facility at the St. Louis Chess Club. It's an unforgettable event you won't want to miss. Clutch Chess Champion Showdown is here, and 4 superstars take the stage. World number 1, Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, Fabiano Caruana, and reigning world champion, Gukesh Damaraju. With more than $400,000 on the line, daily win bonuses, escalating point values, and the one-of-a-kind Champions Jackpot, every game could change everything. It all unfolds October 27th through 29th, live from the brand new playing halls of the St. Louis Chess Club. Don't miss a moment of chess history in the making.
By now, you guys probably know there's a lot to see and do in St. Louis. But when it comes to the art scene, there's more here than meets the eye. From Laumeier Sculpture Park and the City Garden to the stunning Cathedral Basilica, one of the largest mosaic collections in the entire world. So if art is your thing, St. Louis is on display all year long. Ooh, now that's an exhibit. St. Lou is always exploring.
Hi, my name is Brian Woods. I am the music director for classical programming at the World Chess Hall of Fame and Galleries. It is a monthly series that we put on featuring performers from the St. Louis Symphony, from Opera Theater St. Louis, Winter Opera, and some of the finest freelancers we have here in the St. Louis area. Every live performance is completely different. So when you come to a concert here at the World Chess Hall of Fame, you can expect infinite possibilities all within this rubric of music.
We're the Manos! Welcome to our show! Go, go, go! That's our show! Now go play yours at visitmo.com!
When you visit St. Louis, you'll probably want to watch the Cardinals or the Blues. What about after the game? Heading back to the hotel would be a major error.
Instead, boogie through the city and discover the music that gave the Blues their name at the National Blues Museum, Broadway Oyster Bar, or even the legendary Blueberry Hill. So whether you love the Cardinals, the Blues, or the Blues, come play with us. Hey, you guys know I can't play this, right? St. Lou is always exploring.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Grantchester Finals. We're in the middle of round 2 of the classical game. Both games still going on.
But I feel like, especially the game between Levon and Fabi, most especially, is petering. It seems like the players are swapping pieces faster than we can keep up with them. And we've just seen the move Rook B8 by Fabi. And even though it feels like there should be some way to get an edge for White, we can't find it.
The engine can't find it.
It's
it
not there.
Be there.
That's our feeling. And so this game, on the current run of the position, feels like a draw is inevitable.
On one hand, of course, for Fabi, it's a great result to quickly draw against Levon. But given his opening choice, maybe he wanted a fight and more of a complicated game instead of simplifying everything so early.
Exactly. Again, we are in match play. And even though Levon might say to himself, I got nothing with White, he actually learned something, that Fabi was willing to play a King's Indian type of game. And that might be important information as they play in the Rapids and Blitz. So we'll see. And once again, just to remind everybody of our schedule.
I think players are looking forward to moving to the faster time controls, which starts tomorrow. They'll play 2 rapid games and 4 blitz games all in one day, and possibly even the playoffs.
That is going to be the hardest day of the matches, because it's so tough to reorient yourself to rapids, which is a different time control than the blitz, and then suddenly the
Doing
playoffs.
it on the same day?
Yes.
think we had that during American Cup.
And it was a challenge.
It
for
was
this,
an
right?
absolute challenge.
Right.
The hardest part is adjusting the increment. Here you have 30 seconds. In rapid, maybe you have 10. And then in blitz, it's 2 or 0.
Right. Cristian, coach, I mean, in collegiate chess these days, the collegiate players are playing the different formats, whether they play it online, whether they play it in the Final Fours. Or
They are indeed, yeah.
And you've got to adjust your players to that sudden new format. How do you do it?
I don't think there's a clear blueprint to do that. It's all about experience when it comes to those type of adjustments, because we used to look at rapid and blitz as not even close, remotely close.
Right. To different sports.
To classical, right? But nowadays, there's so many events that include rapid and blitz. There's so many only rapid and blitz events that you have to be ready for all 3 formats. And the way to get ready for those is to just simply practice, because it's the same chess, right? Of course, you have to adjust your decision-making process as well. You're going to probably have to be more practical. You cannot afford just trying to figure out the truth in every single position, right? You have to be a bit more practical, and you have to play more on intuition. And that's why players that rely more on intuition usually are more successful in rapid and blitz. So again, there's no clear blueprint. Every single player is different. Every single player has weaknesses and strengths. For example, I have players that really prefer classical. They really want to get into the position, calculate, and understand the basics of that position, and more than that as well. But then they have to adjust to the rapid and blitz. Of course, they are forced to adjust to the rapid and blitz. So the way to do that is to just practice it, play rapid and blitz games as well in training, because a lot of players focus on just opening work and then deep calculation.
And I was going to say, actually, Cristian, you have to have opening prep for rapid and blitz that are different from your classical opening prep.
Again, you cannot use your incredible ideas that you might be using in the candidates in a rapid and blitz event, because then you're just simply going to run out of ideas very quickly, right? So you do have to, and I think you made a great point, you have to adjust your opening repertoire as well. I have a repertoire for blitz, I have a repertoire for rapid, and I have my main repertoire, the most correct, if you want to put it that way, correct repertoire for classical. So again, there's no clear blueprint, but you do have to cover, you're forced as a professional player nowadays to cover all of these formats.
Quick question for you. Do you think of yourself as a calculator or more of an intuitive player?
Definitely.
Are you happy you're playing blitz, or would you prefer to play classic where you can think and calculate?
My favorite is rapid.
Really? The in-between?
Yes, and my rating is highest in rapid. I always have best results in rapid, so it's exactly in between. So I don't have to have absolutely great opening prep. I can know enough and have some tricks, but also rely on intuition a lot.
Interesting. I grew up with 5 minute. That was my forte. I played a lot, and I do mean a lot of 5 minute chess as I was starting my career. And for me, I just loved it. I thought it was
fun,
great.
right?
Yeah, and slow chess, and I literally called it slow chess. We didn't have the term classical chess. We had blitz and slow chess.
Back then, also slow chess meant it could be played over days, right?
Yeah, even. That's exactly right, because we had adjournment as well. And I hated the adjournment. So yeah, I love the blitz, so I would have guessed myself more as an intuitive player. By the way, we do have a move, rook c2, an indication that this pawn on b3 is basically going to be traded off for this pawn on a7. So imagining queen takes b3, I think another move might be queen a3, but imagining queen b3 just for argument's sake. Bishop takes, what else?
Right.
Okay. Rook doesn't have many other squares than b4.
Well, actually, so go back before bishop takes a7.
Yes.
Instead of bishop takes a7. I think you can maybe even start with bishop to d5.
That might be his idea, yeah, bishop to d5, so I have to move my queen.
Yeah, and you can actually go to b5.
As well?
Yes.
Okay.
And it looks like your rook is trapped after
that was what I was afraid of.
But it's not.
It's not?
No, because you can go rook b7.
Bishop?
Bishop b7, queen b7.
Ah, thank you.
And you get your exchange back very, very swiftly, immediately.
Because you've got bishop h3 on
You have to defend the bishop on a7. You can do that in a variety of ways. It doesn't matter. Bishop h3 is coming. You have to defend against checkmate. Very typical pattern. You go f3, and then I take on f1, and this is completely equal.
4 versus 4.
Yeah.
That's true. So I could even play queen b5.
Yes, you can even go queen b5. And in fact, it has to be played.
Queen a4 doesn't work because?
After bishop d5, queen a4, you're in huge trouble after rook takes c8, first of all.
Huge trouble.
Huge trouble. You're done.
Not trouble. I'd say resign.
You're done. That's it.
That's it.
That's
I'm
it.
done.
We shake hands.
Thank you for the
so queen a4.
Good game.
That's a mind square right there. That is mine.
Yeah.
If you go queen to b4,
there's
it's
bishop
still
c5.
pretty bad after bishop to c5. So in fact, you are running a little
So
bit out
there's
of
a
the
little
squares.
tricks in the position.
But again, this
Queen
is
b5.
not
Yeah.
very difficult calculation for a player like Fabiano, right?
Or
Like
Levon,
you
yeah.
go queen to b5. Well, he has the
True.
He's the one that has to find his rook b7,
Right.
because white has a little bit more, let's say, smooth play in this position. But he did find rook to c2. So Levon
As a way of
obviously
making
is
some
eyeing
tricks.
that variation, right?
Some nice tricks.
And the only other, by the way, the only other move that keeps clear equality is queen to a6. So queen takes b3 and queen to a6. Those are the top two moves. If you go queen a5,
for example,
which also feels very natural, it does seem like after b4, you might be in trouble.
Wow.
Yes. After b4, you might be in trouble.
So
Can I do the same, queen b4 and rook b7?
I don't take, though.
Oh.
I go bishop c5, yes. And
Much
that's
better.
the problem. Now I'm actually going for the other rook after bishop takes c7.
That's hilarious.
And you no longer have this idea.
Okay.
So after b4, if you do take with the rook, then I just go bishop d2. And now I'm actually gaining material.
And somebody like Peter Svidler, who's a Grunfeld player, no,
Not enough. Not enough. You need
The
a couple
pawn has
more
to be on
pawns.
b4.
Yes.
And a bishop
You need a pawn on b4, and maybe you need this pawn as well,
Okay.
right? To have
Okay.
some compensation. So no, he does have to calculate. He does have to be a bit precise in this position, Fabiano. Some pressure coming from Levon, but again, if Fabiano finds this queen b3, queen to b5, there's not much after that to continue the game. Like you have to go for this bishop takes a7, rook b7. You probably have to take that and make a draw, more or less.
If I can pick your mind a little bit, Cristian, about Fabiano, because we were talking about yourselves, whether you find yourself to be a calculators or intuitive players. For me, I've always looked at Fabi as one of the world's great calculators, that his classical chess, if you will, was much greater than his blitz. Now he's improved his blitz play, his rapid play a great deal. How did you see him, his strengths and weaknesses as a player? Intuitive, calculator?
Oh, he's a calculation machine,
Amazing.
of course. And that's the one thing that he enjoys the most, getting to, once again, the truth of the position. I think he really enjoys those type of opportunities. And we've seen that. I mean, remember the World Championship match
Absolutely.
against Magnus, just
Fought
incredible.
to a standstill.
The precision was just absolutely off the charts for both of the players,
Yeah.
by the way, and in completely imbalanced positions. So this is what he enjoys. He had, and he was forced once again to improve his rapid and blitz.
Exactly.
Because he was understanding, look, there's a lot of rapid blitz events. I have to do well in these ones, so I'm going to have to improve my play. He did that.
And especially
At
when
the same time, he still prefers classical much more than rapid blitz, I would say.
But when you think about the match in 2018 and his desire to be one of the world's great calculators, but then it comes the pandemic. Everything goes online.
Yeah.
Nobody online is going to allow you to play a 5-hour classical
You cannot
game.
play classical.
They will let you play 10 games of blitz, but they will not let you. So he was forced
Everything
to become
changed.
a
Not only
rapid
him.
blitz.
Every professional player had to adjust to that.
Exactly.
This was a new reality. This continues to be a new reality, and it's not going away anytime soon.
Right.
Classical is obviously here to stay, but also rapid and blitz very much are here to stay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It became,
And that's why we're doing this at the Grand Chess Tour, right? We're
Right.
trying to implement all of these formats just because we want to understand who's the best player in all three formats.
So far, that's been Magnus Carlsen, undoubtedly.
Which is one of the reasons why he stands out so much. If you think about the disciplines
He's
that you
dominant.
need
Yeah.
for blitz. I mean, in the old days of Yugoslavia, They were a Yugoslavia blitz specialist you never heard of that played a mean game of blitz, right? That was their specialty.
And we still have those, by the way. We still have these Grandmasters 2500. That,
you don't want to
they generally don't play a lot of events, and then they come to the World Rapid and Blitz, and they go in top 10, top 20, right? Because
very recently in New York City.
Because they're extremely good at Blitz or at Rapid.
Exactly.
Right? They've just adjusted, they've perfected
their game,
their game in that format. So, but again, of course, Magnus is still one of the top dominant forces in chess.
All right, and we do have Queen takes B3 by Levon. Pardon me, by Fabi, in answer to Levon's move, Rook C2. I know you did suggest that Queen A6, according to the chess engines, also keeps full equality, but Queen takes B3.
And now let's see if he goes Queen to B5.
And this is the big moment. We are expecting Queen B5.
He might take a long think here. Should we check the other game?
Please, let's do it. We're going to jump to MVL and Prague. Where are you? Oh, you're right there.
We didn't guess MVL's plan. We're mostly looking at A4, A5 and playing on the queen side, but look at this move after bishop E7, rook A to E1.
Did not expect that at all.
He's completely abandoning the queen side. He's focusing on the center, maybe even looking at the king side.
Knight E5, rook A8 to D8, and we've caught up with the players. Well, I must say, from the current position, there's been no punishment, if you will, for the move B4. I mean, in no way is Prague prepping Queen B5 and A5 or some other ways.
But it's still sticking out and looking weird on B4, right?
It does.
On B3, no one would question it.
No, I mean, that would be absolutely normal. But okay, never mind. I think the move D3 makes perfect sense. I mean, when the rook is... I don't want to play D4 because I don't want to block the diagonal.
Let's take a look at D3 then with black. Do you want to take on E5?
Let's do it. Let's try. Let's ask the most salient questions.
And I like rook E3 here.
Because you want
I have an idea, but you won't let me.
It's not Christmas. It's too early for Christmas.
So rook E3, go queen F. Where do you go? Queen H6?
Queen H6. It's a little bit awkward for the moment, but I'm anticipating any trades will immediately solve whatever issues I'm currently facing. Bishop C1?
Queen H5, right? Or even Queen H4.
Queen H4, rook G4. Well, can you check?
Point out white does have a draw here, right? Rook H3, rook G3 if you want to.
Sure. I always felt that whenever I saw these repetitions, I felt that the black player, that was a success for them. Because, and we have D3
is on the board. And let's try bishop C1, but I just don't see any follow-up after that.
Well, it's kind of hard to get enthusiastic, right? I mean, it's sort of like, what have we done? We've got our rook on G4.
Has no weaknesses.
Black has no weaknesses, that's the thing.
Exactly. Play rook D5.
There's no reason for black to
be worse
in this position.
Agreed. The bishop looks good. It's a very good defending bishop. Yeah.
It's nothing.
Sometimes you just have to look at chess in a very simplistic way. And like, why would black be worse in this position? Does he have any weaknesses? Is there any material imbalance that could provide that? There's nothing. It's just too dry.
I remember analyzing a game in Lone Pine, California. Father Bill Lombardi was over watching us. You know, we were the Young Lion Juniors, the Fedorowicz, Benjamins, Christensen's. We were analyzing, and Bill Lombardi said, count the attackers and count the defenders. And it was like...
Very simplistic, yes.
Cristian, if you don't mind, recap Levon's game.
Let's rewind and see how we got to where we are right now in this game between Levon and Fabiano. Levon started with C4, knight F6, knight C3, and an early surprise by Fabiano with the move G6, pretty much throwing the gauntlet and saying, let's have a fight. Play E4, let's go into a King's Indian type of setup and let's get a fight. Levon says, you know what? No, I want to play it slowly. G3.
In English.
Bishop to G7, bishop to G2, C5, knight to F3, castle, castle, knight to C6, and d4. And now finally we're getting those type of very typical structures. But Fabiano says, you know what, I want to make a draw right now. I want to simplify things with the move d5, which is somewhat of a misjudgment because Levon did have an opportunity. If he would have taken on c5, and after taking on c4, queen to a4, this gives white a slight and quite consistent edge for the remainder of the game. Instead of that, he played the move c takes d5, after which Fabiano, with very precise play, bishop to e3, take on d4, and queen to c4, a crucial move in this position. Knight takes c6, b takes c6, b3. Right now we're going to see a lot of simplifications. Everything is going to get exchanged in terms of pawns on this side, which is going to lead to a very equal position. Bishop to c6, rook to c2. A final attempt, I would say, to get an advantage with bishop to d5. And if you don't see this idea of queen to b5, take on a7 and rook to b7, a momentary sacrifice, because after bishop takes b7, queen takes b7, it looks like you just lost your exchange, but in fact you get it immediately after bishop to e3 because of this double attack with the move bishop to h3. So this is where we stand right now. He did find the move queen to b5, and we do expect...
He didn't even play rook b8. He just
not even rook to b7, bishop h3 first. We do expect a handshake in this one very soon.
Exactly. Didn't even need the little finesse of rook to b7. Bishop h3 immediately, and white's got nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Thank you. Can you do all my games like that? What did I miss? Hey, I mean, I think you just hit it. And we have bishop takes b8 on the board. I think we're about to see bishop takes f1. Making sure we go into bishops of opposite color position. Sometimes that's the easiest way of drawing these.
No good in between moves, so we'll probably
can go
take
bishop
f1.
c4, I guess.
Bishop.
I was worried maybe bishop e2 or something like that might exist.
Bishop e2, queen e2, and take on e7.
Oh,
it's
still,
completely
yeah.
It's just a draw in every single way. In this
he just played king takes f1, I think, was his... Did I get that right? Yeah, and queen takes b8.
Queen takes b8. They're basically just going to try to find the repetition very soon. Probably something like bishop to f3, rook c8. That's my expectation, just to exchange everything.
They're just cleaning
and what does that mean
everything off the board.
For these two players? Where are they headed, guys?
Rapids.
And blitz. Rapids
rapid and blitz. And we do have king g2 on the board, by the way, e7, e6. And everything just got hoovered off the board. I don't want to say it's one of those grandmaster draws because it's not.
They
but it's
both
just one of
surprised
those,
each other in the opening.
Yeah, but it's one of those openings that if it's proper play, all the pieces get traded and a draw looks totally inevitable at this exact moment. Let me just update my board. Queen
I
to
think
d8.
they're repeating right now. They found the three-move repetition.
Rook to d2.
Rook c2, rook d2, and queen is going back and forth.
These guys are really good at finding. If I play queen d8 here, he's going to play rook d2. I'll play rook c2, and there we have it.
It feels very similar to what we've had yesterday, an early game between these two players, an early repetition, and then MVL and Prague fighting quite hard.
This will be their 40th draw,
That's
11 wins to 6 wins in favor of Fabi.
7, I think.
Or even 7? Sorry.
Quite a few.
I don't want to.
Classical draws.
I don't want to cheat him out of a victory. And there you have it, the players.
Both just played
Maybe
very
we can
accurately.
listen to what they're saying.
I don't know. They got the whispers.
I think because the other game is still going on, they're whispering.
We need better mics on them.
We're closer. So what I heard is, did you do your shopping for Yasser? Did you pick a gift for him? Have you tried the steak at the Gaucho's restaurant?
Yeah.
Sorry,
can't hear it.
even with our volume cranked up, we have our spy cams. We have to get the spy mics.
We were able to hear Prague and MVL
because
they were not whispering.
Right, they were the last to finish. We have a draw. We have that match, pardon me, is going to be decided in a rapid and blitz.
Or in the playoffs.
Or in the playoffs. By the way, the game of Maxime and Prague has followed our analysis, much like yourself.
Oh.
I am expecting rook e3, bishop f6, rook g3.
So this could be a repetition as well in just a couple of moves.
It could very easily be an early day. Are we on an hourly or are we I hope, you know, it's
and, you know, these players can go enjoy the beach.
Right. Well, I saw in our opening there that on the river, Maurice was by the river there. So, yeah, enjoying the day. But I can easily see a repetition because, as you say, there's no weaknesses in Black's camp. You put a rook on d5, you know, give me a few more moves, and I'm starting to think like, hey, wait a minute, you know, why shouldn't I be playing?
Again, Black has done nothing wrong. There's
Exactly.
no reason for Black to be worse.
And this is the current position.
Yeah, if we see rook e3, bishop f6 coming in the position, I have a feeling we're going to see the repetition.
Can we do something to be annoying and not call it the day?
Like
But then you might
b5?
risk a little bit.
b5? I'm expecting bishop
f6. I will go bishop f6, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to sacrifice the exchange?
Not me, but I am. You take
I'll
the
take
rook?
on e5. I'm not going to give you the chance to get
No.
that rook covered.
Why would I even contemplate this? I mean,
No,
if my
rook
pawns
c8.
were on d6,
Sure.
I could get it. But
No, here I don't see anything for
no,
white.
no. There's no reason for me to imagine that.
If it was on like a must-win situation, maybe you do something like that.
Exactly. Rook e4. Let's try
wait a
this as
minute.
a choice.
What's he going with that hand? Was he trying to go rook b1? I think he wants to go rook b1.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
He was going towards the f1 rook.
It's the only move then, right?
Right, otherwise you lose the exchange.
rook to b1, and in the immortal words of Jan Hein Donner, why? I mean, rook d5, bishop
Sure,
f6.
still looks fine, yeah.
Your rook is ready to decisively join the battle by playing for the amazing
He's
e5.
hesitating, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe he will go for rook e3.
I think rook
But
e3.
if he didn't want to join the next three moves, what do you do?
Exactly. That was the whole question that I had for myself, is do I want to do... I can imagine, just for argument's sake, if you will, just putting a situation like this on the board. It really is not... I am not enthusiastic, but okay. Do I have any reason to press? Is my queenside action?
I think the only reason would be if you think you are stronger than your opponent, because positionally, absolutely not. White's not better. And here, obviously, both players are same
comparable.
level.
Yes.
So no, I don't see why White would try this. Or if you think your opponent's in really bad form or anything.
Well, it wasn't like I was thinking, oh, I'm just the superior opponent. I will win by my brute personality. But the idea of what I was really asking is, because I'm advanced on the queen side, does this give me any reasons that I should feel optimistic? Let's pause our thoughts and toss it to Maurice, who is with Fabiano.
Thanks, Yas. We're with Fabiano Caruana after the second draw in a row. Fabi, yesterday there seemed to be some weirdness, wildness, some complications, but today seemed pretty straightforward. Is there anything or any moments you might want to illuminate us where there may have been some tension in the opening, or was it just easy quality?
It was in some ways easy quality, but the opening is interesting in the sense of we're both trying to surprise each other. So I'm playing g6, which he doesn't really know what I want with this. It could be a Grunfeld. It could be something like e4, e5, which is also a line. And I won't say, of course, what I intended, but he decided to surprise me in turn with g3, which, of course, he's always capable of because he's been playing g3 systems for forever. But it's not supposed to be too critical these days. And I think we both had some idea, but couldn't remember exact details. Like if dc5 here, I kind of remembered that this was a line and kind of equalizing. And then here, I remembered that there was a game between Magnus and Sam Shanklin with queen c4. But then I couldn't figure out this position, which I think is okay. But I was a bit nervous to go for it, but I think the engine shows that it's just okay. Although maybe it's knight b4 here. Maybe I also mix things up. But then I think that this cd4, I mean, maybe the computer shows queen c4 immediately, but this cd4 and queen c4 is extremely solid. I mean, this is probably the way to play for an advantage. And we were kind of briefly discussing this. I mean, he mentioned queen d2 as an option, and bishop a6, he mentioned rook fd1. But I was thinking more bishop g4 along these lines and was looking at, I mean, these endgames, they could be slightly unpleasant for black. It kind of depends on one tempo. But it's helpful to know that I am playing like a pretty healthy line and that it should be okay if I figure out the moves. So I was looking at this type of position and it looked kind of, well, I don't know, maybe rook b8, maybe rook c8, but it looked kind of equal.
It didn't feel like there was tension or something to play for in this position, with especially the knights already off the board, and it looked like more trades were to come. It just didn't seem like there was much here.
Well, it is very concrete. I mean, it is very, unfortunately, it peters out to a draw. I don't know, maybe fortunately for me, but the position is very concrete and it could be dangerous for black. Like in this position, for example, if I get careless, queen a4, I lose on the spot. I mean, there are some tactics. And if I don't play bishop h3, I think rook b7. Oh, okay, I didn't consider that. I was like looking at bishop f5, and then there's this, unfortunately, I don't keep contact with the rook. So there were some tactics, but I mean, I saw this bishop h3.
Nothing too hard for you to navigate.
Yeah, it does peter out, and I guess the excitement of the position fizzles very quickly.
The result of draw, did you come in with the black pieces feeling like, let me just neutralize this guy and we'll go to the rapid and blitz?
No, on the contrary. I mean, I was ready for a wide open fight too. I think my opening choice was kind of hinting that I was going for complicated positions, but it can also peter to equality. I mean, chess does tend to be that way, that if white plays in a safe manner, then black usually also should respond in a safe manner. If white plays very ambitiously, then black can also play ambitiously, but you can't really push with black. And also under the circumstances, I have no reason to. I mean, it's still a completely equal match situation, and still early in the match. Although the classical is over, there's still a lot of points to play for and a lot of games to play.
Let's talk about those. You got 2 rapid, 4 blitz. Your history with him, you guys have played a ton. What is your feeling going into those 6 critical games?
Yeah, I think it'll be very tough. I mean, we tend to have these close matches. It's almost never one-sided, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a repeat of that. I think, like in the American Cup, I did well in blitz against him, and that was the reason why I was victorious against him in the American Cup. But then in the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz, I was playing rather poorly, and he played extremely well in blitz and in rapid. So recent form, he's doing better in blitz. But, I mean, I think it's going to be very close.
I think you can handle yourself.
Hope
Good
so.
luck and get some rest for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Maurice. And indeed, Fabi, good luck for tomorrow as we're looking at our second game between MVL and Prague. And we're thinking, and the more we've been discussing the position, Nazi, we feel that rook e3 and rook g3 a big favorite. I don't see Maxime reaching for a rook on f1 to go to b1. I just, like playing for the attack.
I wouldn't call it an attack. But yeah, if rook b1, black will play rook d5, it will still be very balanced, very equal position.
I totally agree.
Just I don't see a forcing repetition there.
No.
And the fact that he hasn't made the move, it could be a sign of hesitation
as well,
MVL, right? Because he was hinting that he's probably going to go for that rook to b1, but now maybe he realizes, why would I just not make a draw with rook g3
Well,
right now?
finally I've got a monitor there on the right. I mean, the high tech. I can actually see MVL's clock very, very clearly that says he's just past the 31-minute mark. That doesn't sound terrible until you look on the other side, with Prague having an hour. Now, whenever I'm way behind on time, by way behind, I mean a 30-minute difference, that starts to sound significant
Yeah,
to
your
me.
confidence goes down a bit.
Wait. Conversely, if my opponent has 30 minutes less, I'm thinking, okay, how can I keep the game complicated and let's play. Let me play for my edge
Because
on the
even
clock.
on this high level, we saw yesterday, that's where Pragg made a mistake.
He
when
did.
He was down to 7 seconds.
Exactly. And he got himself into a difficult ending that he nearly lost. So that, for that reason, as well as the position itself not offering anything, I would see rook e3, rook g3 as being the most
No,
expected
maybe
line.
Pragg will not play bishop f6. Let's try rook e3. Let's go rook d5 still.
Okay.
This avoids the repetition at least.
Because
Rook
you get to
G5.
play rook g5.
That was my idea.
Okay, because obviously I have targeted the pawn on g7. You notice this, and you can't block
That's not
it.
a good cover.
That is not a good idea. I'll play h4 or f4.
Thank
But
you.
your move, rook g5. Now, here, you know, it did occur to me that you might play like this. And I was thinking, you know, like, hey, in this case, you would have a bishop f6. Sorry, what did he do?
Queen b3.
Okay,
That's
I
a
did
very
not
strange
see
move.
that at all.
Queen b3, okay.
Queen, okay, it does have the
what's-
benefit of
Yeah.
defending the bishop.
He is defending the bishop, but
Yeah.
is the queen well placed on b3? Because I liked it better on c4.
Not especially. I don't see exactly why. Okay, if we do play the move rook d5, can I make
c4?
can I make an
Okay.
argument in favor of a
So
queenside
take
majority?
rook d8.
I've got the majority. Aren't you afraid?
You do have that, but I have control of the d file.
Yes, but my majority. No, I'm not making any claims whatsoever, and I'm not making any claims in this case either. I don't see any particular reason why, just
How
because
can
we.
you white be better with the queen on b2? But let's pause our analysis because Maurice is with Levon Aronian. Over to you, Maurice.
Thanks, Nazi. We're with Levon Aronian after his draw with Fabiano Caruana. The match is now tied at 1-1. Today's game didn't have the juice of yesterday. With the opening seemed pretty accurate, if you will. The engine's giving 99.5% accuracy, 99% accuracy. What were your thoughts about this opening, and did he surprise you in any way?
Yeah, he surprised me with g6. It's kind of invitation to, I was thinking he's going to play Grunfeld or either e4, e5, which is quite a modern way to approach this opening, and I think it's totally fine for black.
So what did you think when it happened? Did you think, okay, I got to pull the brakes?
I told myself, all right, I got to stay solid, and, if he wants to try something new, let him do it. And yeah, I just try to stay solid and not mess things up before tomorrow.
All right, well, it's all down to tomorrow. 2 games of rapid, 4 games of blitz. You've been playing extremely well in both formats. You won the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz with room to spare. You feeling very confident about your chances?
Yeah, I'm always confident when I get to play Blitz and Rapid because I love to play Blitz and Rapid. You know, the issue is when you're trying to create something unbalanced in classical game, it's not going to work. And in Blitz and Rapid, there are more opportunities for that.
All right, before I let you go, I'd like to talk about this one moment we just saw happen in the game with MVL. We were all expecting this one to also end very quickly with the move rook e3, rook g3, and rook h3, etc. But MVL just played queen to b3. What are your thoughts about that?
I think the position is rather solid. I cannot really say that any side has a reason to be too happy. So it doesn't really matter what you're going to play. I think Maxime maybe wants, just to keep the game going because yesterday when he did that, he almost won the game. So I think that's his strategy.
Doesn't matter to you. We commentators, we could use a quick day off. But they could be playing, you think, maybe a long time in such a position because it's going to be queen in major piece, queen and 2 rooks. It's going to be major piece position. It doesn't seem like he could possibly be playing for anything.
Yeah, but, you know, things happen. There are always chances. That's why I love this rule that you cannot offer a draw, because people eventually mess things up.
You make a bet on this game. Where do you see it, percentage-wise, ending in a draw versus a victory?
I think 10% chance that it's going to be a victory of any side and 90% draw.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll let you go. And nice, relaxing day at the office. Go enjoy your family. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maurice. Thank you, Levon. Poly market. Take your bets. 90% draw rate. And we do have further indication that MVL has ambitions. He's just answered bishop f6 with rook c5.
But
what about bishop
e7?
e7?
What do you do?
Probably.
I guess he wants to go rook c4.
Rook a5?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Or rook c4. I think he wants to go rook c4. He just wants to play for b5, basically. He's putting the rook on the c file. He wants to play for b5 and hoping that he can get something.
But Yasser or Cristian, would you guys give 10% chance victory? I would put it at 2.
90. I'd give it 5. Yeah,
95.
95. 5. Yeah. It really is a genuinely balanced game. But I've got to say, just a second, hold on, before I go too far. Who gets the 5? Who gets the 2? Because I'm looking and I'm thinking the rook on c5 might just be badly placed. Like
I think Pragg gets the 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It's like
he has more time. He's the one that, you know, if you press too much, you're the one overexposed with this move b4, and perhaps you create some weaknesses along the way.
Right.
Bishop b7. Okay.
By the way,
let's get ready. Let's get ready for this one, guys.
Rook e5 came very quickly, by the way. I think it was...
It could be a fake out. He could play it twice and then change his mind. But
no.
Yeah, and there we go. Rook c5. Okay. Well, for those of you who are joining us late, it was a Caro-Kann. Neither player really surprised the other, and it looked like a very solid, good game with a repetition that suddenly happened a bit unexpectedly for us, and a draw in this one. Everything to be decided tomorrow, Nazi. I mean, it's all who's in form for the Rapid and the Blitz.
Absolutely. All classical games ended in a draw. Fighting games, but nobody made a big mistake.
Not today. It was yesterday that MVL had a golden opportunity presented to himself, and it's still one of those great mysteries for me, how our cherished principles get violated.
I think maybe we can hear them now.
G3.
Yeah, it felt shaky.
And knight b4, a3. Queen c2, take, rook c1.
So they are
rook c3, f6. And here I think important knight d3, because knight f3, b5.
MVL is justifying his pawn sacrifice offer.
Yeah, it felt strange as 96, 95. Also, f4 was there.
Yeah, of course.
We're not discussing the b4 move.
Yeah, I mean, well, when Maurice interviews them and MVL explains that it's the most natural move in the position, I'm going to lose my lunch.
I thought you'll probably go rook e3, bishop f6, rook g3.
And this is what happened today.
Another day of draws. Pragg and MVL drew their game, so did Fabi and Levon, and everybody has 6 points.
In these finals, not much between any of the players, as we're going to go to Rapid, 2 Rapid games tomorrow and 4 Blitz games to be played. Lots and lots of points up for grabs. What can you say? Top Grandmaster chess, very, very accurate decision-making. A draw is more or less a natural result. Still,
absolutely. And it came from all the players, right? These decisions came from all four players, because, you know, Levon started with this move c4, then he got surprised with this initiative by Fabi with g6, but then he said, you know what, let's keep the game simple with g3 and then this d4, d5 and all the simplifications. And we've heard from Fabi as well, look, you can take as many risks. At some point you have to say, you know what, I'm black, I'm not going to risk anymore, let's make a draw and move on to the rapid and blitz. And this is where the seconds are going to earn the big bucks, because right now, in Brazil, they need to be working out some real shots in the opening phase, right?
Precisely.
And a lot of them, as you just mentioned, Nazi. You need some other repertoire. You need a bigger repertoire, given that you're going to have tomorrow how many games? We're going to have six games, right? 2 rapids and 4 blitz. So we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow.
If you don't mind, bring up the game of Levon for me for a moment, because as Levon said in the opening, he was presented with this real opportunity to play on move 3 after the move g6. He said the modern line is e4, e5. And he said this is where he said, okay, I'm not ready for the challenge.
And after knight f3, I think even the pawn sacrifice with bishop to g7. Yeah, you don't even go for this d6. Sometimes maybe you go for c6 and d5 in one go. So knight to f3, bishop g7. I do think that you can take on e5, but then again, the complications ensue, and he was not ready for that. They all understand the direction in which the game can go, because all of these players, first of all, are so well prepared. They've looked at these lines. The question is, when did you look at these lines? 6 months ago?
Was it fresh?
Or this morning, right?
Yeah.
And that makes the difference in this type of encounters.
Exactly. And if you're get into this particular position after e4, e5, knight takes e5, and let's have some fun.
Yeah.
You better be prepared. Tomorrow, I think Levon is going to be looking at these lines with the seconds overnight. As you say, seconds have got to earn the big bucks, because 6 games tomorrow, and they're going to get They're going to get time between the games to
not much,
not a lot,
not
much.
It goes fast.
Well, maybe you'll get, depending on how fast you finish, maybe you'll get 30 minutes, or maybe you'll get 10 minutes.
Let's jump to Sao Paulo, and Maurice is with Prague.
Thanks, Yas. We are with Praggnanandhaa after a pretty solid draw. Prag, were you surprised by the way he approached this opening today?
Not really. I mean, this is one of his main weapons, so I was expecting this. And but yeah, I was not familiar with this queen f5, I think, which is not the most common move. Common move is queen e6. And then, yeah, this is like a logical way to play. But I think black is already fine here. Before was ambitious, but I think he just, yeah, this bishop e7 is just strong, and there's nothing.
Was that the plan for today? Come in, happily make a solid draw, and go fight it out tomorrow?
I just wanted to play normal chess, and if there is a fight, I will fight, and yeah, if I don't get anything, then draw is not the bad result. I just wanted to, you know, play a bit faster today, especially what happened yesterday. So, I mean, having like 30-minute advantage against Maxime in any type of position is something, yeah, something to be happy with.
Already an accomplishment for sure. But now you do go to the fast time controls. What's your record with him playing in rapid and blitz?
We played in last 2 GCTs. We played in Poland this year, where I won much worse position, and then we played last year in St. Louis, where I lost a risk-free position. So it's, I don't remember before that. At 23, we played like a rapid match where I lost 3-0 against him, which was painful, but yeah,
you're a little bit more grown up now.
Yeah, that was already like 2.5 years back. So I mean, okay, he's a very strong player, and it'll be interesting to play shorter formats with him.
Early day at the office. Any plans for today? See Sao Paulo a bit, or just go chill in the room?
No, I think I'll just chill in the room. Yeah, I mean, having good rest for tomorrow will definitely help.
All right. Well, we'll let you get that rest. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Maurice, and thank you, Prague. Good luck tomorrow. Well, let's take a look at our updated results. First of all,
Once again, all the games were drawn, and in the classical, for a draw you get 3 points, so everybody now has 6 points going into Rapid and Blitz.
And tell us about the schedule, the updated schedule now that day 2 is behind us.
2 classical games are over. Tomorrow they'll come to play 6 fast games, 2 rapid, 4 blitz. And if there's no clear winner, then they'll play the playoffs.
Those playoffs, that could be a mighty long day tomorrow. And you'll see that that's going to be repeated on Friday, October 3rd. They'll also have those playoffs as well.
And there's going to be 30 minutes between rapid and blitz.
Oh, wow. And so
only 15 minutes between blitz games.
Well, that's a considerable enough amount of time that you can sit there and consult with your coaches and
Depends
say, okay,
if
I got
finished
white.
on time, or if you had the 100-move queen end game, you know? Drifts in.
100-move queen.
Look, at some point.
You just made me cringe, bad memories.
But this is also part of the strategy, right? Yeah. When you have those type of situations, are you going to try for like 100 moves? Probably, yes, because you want to put a lot of pressure on your opponent. And at some point, you have to prioritize. Do you prioritize your preparation, or do you prioritize your rest? It's a big question. They will answer it.
Let's jump to Maurice, who is with Maxime. Over to you, Maurice.
Thanks, Yas. We're with Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. Maxime, today was kind of tepid, I guess is the best word for it. What were your thoughts about the opening? He said he thinks that he surprised you with the move Queen F5.
Absolutely, Maurice, and I didn't remember the details, and I think Bishop C4 is not really the way to go, probably. Yeah, actually C3. But I don't like C3 because I know in the end games we go for B3, Bishop B2. So then the pawn on C3, but... and of course I could go Bishop D3, but here I thought that compared, like, because normally you go Queen E6, check, Bishop E2, Queen G4, Queen G3. But here I thought maybe Knight A6, and so like I had vague memories, but what I chose was like anticlimactic, and I went for B4, which, you know, as I was looking more and more, felt like more playing with fire than anything else.
We were talking about this move. Yasser especially said if he were sitting at the board, he'd want to punish you for this move. A bit strong words, but did you start to feel some doubts when you kept looking at the position?
Yeah, I doubted, because of course the plan would be to get a quick A4, B5, but it's not really working after Knight D7, and there's always Queen D5 happening. So I settled for this Bishop B2, Rook E1, Knight E5, and and then B4 proved useful because B5 is always suddenly on the table again. So not my best game of chess, but you know, solid draw, and tomorrow there's all to play for.
Indeed, tomorrow there's all to play for. Your experience with him, he talked about some up and down games you guys have had. In maybe he was winning and you were winning, and the opposite result occurred. You also beat him apparently 3-0 in a match when he was less Prague than he is now. What are your thoughts about this matchup for tomorrow?
Yeah, it will be interesting. Prague in general is very capable in rapid and blitz. He showed it this year in the Grand Chess Tour, of course, even though his best performances came in the Classic. And I think one time we played in Chennai, rapid and blitz. I won the rapid portion. And I think Gueshuk won the blitz, but he was performing very well. And in general, of course, not as a matchup. And also, it's quite different from round-robin events. Preparation still plays a big role in this format, especially when there's so much at stake.
We saw 2 rambunctious games yesterday. Before I let you go, comment on the fact that this was exactly the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a day of chess that I like, but yeah, then again, it came down to my opening moves, and then I basically, I mean, when so many light pieces exchange, this structure of the Caro-Kann is very solid, and yeah, before was a try to shake it off, but not a great one.
Couldn't make it happen? Well, we figure you will play some more enterprising chess tomorrow, so get your rest. We'll see you then.
Thank you, Maurice.
Guys,
thank
back
you,
to you.
Maurice, and thank you, Maxime. Indeed, B4, well, a controversial move, which we'll leave it for the moment. Final thoughts of day 2 of Classics.
Well, it's nice and sunny in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and I'm sure
Right.
the players most likely are going to enjoy the afternoon.
rest of the day.
The seconds, again, they will not enjoy it as much because they have to work hard. And tomorrow we're going to have a lot of fun, exciting and fast-paced games as well. And let's take a look at our predictions.
I've got
as
everything
well.
to play for.
Hey, we all do.
My pick is just
I'm
remarkable.
the only Prague. Okay, I feel good. You know what? I feel good about this. I think this one is going to be an interesting battle between all four.
You know, you're right.
That shows how
Bobby's kind of lonely
evenly
there.
matched are the players, right? I mean, there's nothing to separate.
How
them for the
evenly
moment.
matched the commentators are.
Yeah.
Very little separating the
That's true.
commentators.
That's
Although you've always won my heart. I just want to say right now, today at least, you know, like. But let's jump
Over to you, Anastasiya and Maurice. Final thoughts?
Thanks. I'm surprised I'm the only one who picked Fabi, but hey, champion Team Fabi for sure.
I picked Levon, you know, so we're competing right now. I believe in Levon after this game with stalemate, which happened in St. Louis Rapid and Blitz, you know, so let's see what will happen.
Obviously, he's playing quite well, Levon is, so I don't think there are any bad picks here. Short day at the office, though. I mean, we barely got anything going. Did you see anything exciting otherwise?
I mean, the highlight for me today was the fact that the whole Levon's family came today to the playing venue, including his small daughter, and she was so quiet, and she would say even to the others, like, shh, stay quiet, don't speak. Shh. So it was so cute moment, and Levon, after the games, Levon said that he saw her rooting for him, and then also she was singing this song. Instead of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, she would say Papa, Papa, Little Star. So it was so funny. I mean, we have a lot of fun here. She's the smallest VIP guest here, I guess, for now. And Maurice, I don't know what to do now. Probably we have to visit some local, you know, Brazilian restaurants.
I mean, I don't know how you could make a sentence like that. We are in Sao Paulo. We're in Brazil. Trust me, people have ideas. There'll be something to do. The fans may not be too happy to have such a short day, but I can tell you the staff was feeling like, okay. It's not bad. Get a chance to go see some of the sights of Sao Paulo, for sure.
Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll do the same here in St. Louis. Thank you both. Wow. Short day at the office, indeed, as we wrap things up ourselves.
But we're very excited for tomorrow, Rapid and Blitz. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and join us tomorrow.
Good night from St. Louis.
This has been a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club. Any reproduction or distribution of this content without the express written consent of the St. Louis Chess Club is prohibited.